Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another failtastic episode of Fail PG. As usual, I am the Mighty Mage. We have with us tonight Ross the Boss,
Sup?
Mr. Goat,
Hey, what's going on?
and
So enthusiastic.
yes, and Surge.
Tonight's fitting to be a weird night for me.
Nope. I want to go back to how enthusiastic Sir Goat was.
I mean,
Yeah, try
I mean,
to
if we
contain
really
yourself there,
must.
Goat. Try to contain yourself.
Yeah, man, that's way too much excitement for this episode.
Bring it
What is
back,
wrong with
man.
you? Dial it down like to 11.
I'm like, I'm immortal. I can't die. I'm just like, it's boring. I'm fine.
Well-
He's tempting fate.
I guess today is the day we all die. All right, let's do it.
Oh boy, you done gone and
man.
invited the spirits.
Oh no! If I, Mikey's like, okay, roll for dodging this pipe going through your head. You better roll good. It's like, oh damn.
No, you eat a pickle and die. That's what it is.
You make like SourceU did in 2 or 3 episodes ago. You step off of a riverbank and like fall in the river and get swept away.
Oh, you brought up this.
Roll to see whether or not you can hang on for dear life to fall to the jagged rocks.
Yep.
Nah, he pulls a Mandara. He summons a meteor. We stop it. He's like, "Oh, you guys did good, but what are you gonna do to stop that one?" It's like, "Wait, what?"
Anime rules. Anime rules mean the DM can summon ignorant stuff.
We already did anime rules, and it was one time this actually.
No, but it's a double-edged sword. It's not like we can do extra, like like extraordinary stuff. The DM can just like pull extraordinary stuff out of his anus too, and it's a two-way street.
I am a
Bounces
mighty
up.
mage, so if I happen to conjure a fireball or a meteor or two.
It's what it is.
Well,
The ground turns into a sulfuric
Can
acid.
we
Like,
can
what?
we actually give Skype a round of applause for actually
Why?
finally fixing its shit?
What happened? What did they fix?
So okay, so would you like to go into explanation about this, Mr. Mage, or should
oh
I?
yeah, some I don't know. It's probably like 3 months ago now, 4 months ago. They rolled an update through that made the NDI hook for your own video stream go away, which meant if for those of us who are using OBS Studio to do recording, you can't access your video camera at the same time as Skype is. So in order to get my own video into my recording, I had to run 2 OBS studios simultaneously. One of them to create a virtual camera, and then the other one to actually do the recording. And as we said before, my computer is kind of old, and so it doesn't appreciate the extra work that it had to go through there. Skype finally fixed that. Recent update, that hook is back. I don't have to run 2 instances anymore. My computer isn't on fire. It's great.
I don't have to run all this extra NDI software that I've been running
Mikey
to
didn't
actually get
have
my
to.
camera feed in, which is lovely. So
Mikey
lovely.
didn't have to overclock his processor 40% and pour liquid nitrogen to keep it cool.
I mean, I'm still overclocking it like 40%, and the liquid nitrogen's still flowing, but...
Yeah, that didn't stop. That has not stopped.
At least I'm getting more than like 3 frames a second now, so it's all great. It's all great.
Oh, that's good now. Yeah.
We really needed this for when you all were on the map, and
Yeah.
the map was
It wasn't
struggling so
waiting
hard. But, it is what it is. So when last we left off, you fine folks had managed to slaughter the terrible monster Mogra in the depths of Xerxes' tomb, but at the cost of Seregios' head. Alas, poor Seregios. We hardly knew him. And Gadok wrapped up the severed head of Mogra in her cloak, and the rest of yous all buggered the heck out of there and passed through the camouflage barrier, which collapsed, and now the tomb is visible for all to see. And you guys are out in the marshland, and the sun is close to setting. Striker, I believe you were in the lead. So I think we'll start with you. Are you guys ready to get going? You ready to get going?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. Striker?
Are we still walking through the marsh half, or are we just still in that wooded area where we were?
So you're in the marshland. You're still in that area that has the occasional scraggly, twisted tree. I wouldn't call it a forest exactly, because they're pretty far apart.
Okay. So.
Yep, we'll just walk. You said it was like still like midday, right?
No, it's evening. The sun is soon setting.
All right.
How far are we away from the campsite where we were before?
A few hours. You might be able to make it there by nightfall if you hustle.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
All right.
all need a rest.
All right. All y'all's roll 100 sides to see how quickly you can hustle.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you missed it, with Sir Regios being gone, I was rolling for Sir Regios and Ronnie all this time. I'm back to just rolling for Ronnie. This feels so weird, not rolling 4 dice right now. 31.
Catavendus.
What?
It's French for 72. It's surrender for 72.
Why are you speaking surrender language? I don't understand. Like, we finally beat a boss, and you want to be surrendering now. What is wrong with you?
What timing? I love it.
I'll say 95 because I'm carrying
Oh, that's right. You're carrying Sir Regios' beheaded body.
so,
Oh no, Jason, we're losing you.
Oh no, it's happening again. Jason belongs to the bleachers now.
Ronnie, what?
We got no video and barely got any audio from you.
Well, say goodbye to Boss Ross, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Show's over. We're going home.
I'll be back.
Oh, wait, he is back.
He's got a bit of a stutter, but his video's
I
back.
wonder if I have to upgrade my Skype because I haven't upgraded this thing.
Oh, that's right. So a couple months ago, when the upgrade hit me and Sir Mage here, Boss Ross was the one who decided not to update his Skype in order to not have to deal with the nonsense. Smart move, but now it might actually be costing him.
It's catching up to him. Yep.
Oh well, let's keep going.
So, I didn't catch what you rolled, sir.
95.
95. So, Ronnie starts stalking out full speed towards your old campsite, and very quickly passes you. Noel, you start trailing behind Ronnie a little bit, and then Stryker, way down as you are by Sir Regios' beheaded body, you very quickly fall behind. But you're not alone. Gadok is also lagging substantially behind. Her gaze kind of unseeing as she stares straight ahead and walks beside you, not even making any attempts at flirting with you.
That's good because I don't want to either. I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna keep walking.
You know what's funny? You're carrying his dead body, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that would make him the heaviest, you're not carrying. I'm carrying it.
Yeah, but I'm carrying weight either way. You're carrying that, but he's still big. He's still a big boy.
Ronnie's carrying
all his shiz.
Ronnie's carrying like 50 pounds of gear. Stryker is carrying 200 pounds of dude. So
then he should be fireman's carrying him. Obviously, he's not carrying him right now. Slow down.
Oh, that's what I was about to go next. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw him over my shoulder. I was gonna be respectful, but I was like, God dang, you heavy boy. And just throw him over my shoulder. I was like,
So Ronnie, after a couple of minutes, you turn around to glance over your shoulder, and you don't see the rest of your party. You've just sort of charged ahead full tilt and left them in the dust, so to speak.
I guess I should wait for them.
Everybody roll 100 sides.
Jeez, I'm just not rolling good today. 81.
Let's see.
Ronnie is rolling amazing right now. 29.
What's 0-0 again? That's like
All zeros
100.
is 100. That's like the worst you can possibly roll.
no, not all zeros. There's a double zero, and I have a 3 and 1. I have a 3 and a double 0.
Oh, that's
then
just
it's
a
3.
3.
Oh, nice. Oh, I rolled really good. I rolled really.
Ronnie, you stand there for a minute, and all of a sudden you just see Noel, like, shield in front, charging past, mowing down the long grass like a freight train. He glances at you briefly as he passes, just...
Like a cartoon. I sound go beep beep.
Ronnie just shakes her head and just follows.
Stryker, you even with Seregios' body slung over your shoulders, it's slow going. The extra weight makes you sink into the mushy ground more than you otherwise would, and so every step is a struggle as you have to yank your foot free from the muck, and then you sink in further. Oh, it's such a slog.
I'm not leaving you behind.
And as you trudge on, you hear "woo" off in the distance.
I turn my head and I go, I know I got a nice butt, but don't be looking at me like that. Just keep walking.
Gaddock blinks a couple times and then looks at you like, "What? What?
Okay, that answers my question.
Well, yes, you do, but what?
You just made a noise at me.
No, I didn't.
That wasn't you?
What wasn't me?"
I must be tired. Let's keep going.
Everybody roll 100 sides again.
Oh man.
Oh, this is better now.
I got a 12. Let's go. I got a 12.
Nice. What you get?
10.
A 10
Oh,
and a
I'm
12.
sorry. Wait. I said that wrong. 10.
I got 15.
All right.
Oh, we're all going fast.
All right. So,
Sonic the
Ronnie,
Hedgehog.
you fall in behind Noel, letting him steamroll all of the foliage with his shield as he's just marching along. And you guys make pretty good time through there. And Stryker, you start to find a little bit firmer ground here and there. You start to find ways to improve your stride a little bit. And so you start to make a little bit more decent pace, although you're still well behind the rest of the crew. Gaddock just kind of hangs around with you. She seems to be more setting her pace to match yours rather than like trying to rush off to camp. Again, she's not really seeing anything. You guys continue on like that for a good half hour. And again, Stryker, you hear "woo," maybe a little bit closer, a little bit louder. Somewhere behind you.
I look at Gaddock. I say, you heard that this time, right?
Gaddock takes a few moments to answer, blinks a few times, and then looks up at you. What? What?
You heard that noise this time, right?
What noise?
Can you look behind us? Anything behind us?
She looks behind and does not see anything. Back at you. Are you going crazy?
Must be a side effect from grabbing that thing, you know. Look, can you just keep a ear out and eyes out for me, please? Just in case.
Fine, whatever.
How are you feeling?
Oh, let's see. My brother is dead. We
Mhm.
didn't get the thing that we came for, so his death was meaningless. And I'm carrying the disgusting, rank, filthy, foul-smelling severed head of a giant fat monster. How do you think I'm doing?
Better than Sergio's.
See, I want to make a joke,
Too
but
soon? Too soon?
I look at her, and I look at his body, and go, and I keep walking.
Oh, you're so mean.
Keeping it classy.
What? And I was like, "You think I was like, you're still alive, aren't you? All right, shut up."
Oh my! Everybody, roll 100 sides again.
Okay, Oregon.
Shouldn't make that joke.
Oh, that's terrible. I got 94.
A 94.
You got tired too quick.
He winded himself.
I got 57.
42.
For everybody.
No. As you're charging along through the brush, suddenly you step out into open air. There's an abrupt drop and a small rivulet, and you fall flat on your shield and slide down the riverbank with a thunderous splash into the stream.
I go wee.
For the Regios.
Ronnie, you managed. You see Noel just disappear.
There's only success and failure, and then the stream takes me all into my destination.
Oh my.
So Ronnie watches Noel go. She stops and like literally just stops moving altogether. She looks down at Noel, who is going wee as he goes down the slope on his shield for some reason. And she looks up at the sky and she goes, "All right, I get it. I know you just died a couple hours ago or something like that, but you don't need to sit there and put karma on us already." She will then turn and wait to see if Stryker's actually catching up.
Stryker, remind me what you rolled?
57.
A 57. You guys continue your tough slog, still so far behind Ronnie and Noel that you've lost sight of them. And again, you hear, "Woo! Woo!" But now it's like 3 or 4 of these noises, making a sort of semicircle behind you.
I go, I look at the body, I'm like, it would be today, huh?
For once, Gaddock seems to have noticed the noises as well. She pauses in her stride and looks around behind. Still doesn't see anything. She just sort of squints her eyes warily and turns back to you, Stryker.
Can't you go any faster?
I was like, you want to run?
Well, yes, the thought occurred to me.
Then let's do it. and then I take a deep breath and go, and let's bolt. We try to run.
All right, give me 100 side. Wow.
Was yours bad or what?
What'd you get?
So where I'm at, right? Is there like a dip, just like Noel fell down?
What'd you get?
93.
Wow! Welcome to the club.
You start running. You take 3 steps, and you step into what looked like a puddle, but was actually like a 3-foot deep hole filled with water, and you just sink up to your waist, one leg down in this hole.
And I go, and I look at his body, and I look up. I was like, "You just want to be left here? Because I can leave you here. I'm just saying, I'm trying to do something nice for you."
Around that time, Stryker, you hear a rustling in the tall grass behind you, and sound of rhythmic, heavy footfalls approaching at a run from behind.
I pull myself out real quick. I said, "Screw it." Drop the body, and I go, Sword time. I pull out my sword.
Give me a 12 side with for strength to see if you can haul yourself out of this hole, whilst also with Sergio's draped across your shoulders.
Oh, he said he's letting go of Sergio's.
Yeah, I'm just like.
I'm just gonna drop him and then try and stand up. All right, yeah. Let's have the 12 side.
8 plus 2,
10. All right. With considerable effort and heaving, you manage to extract your leg from this mud hole, and thoroughly soaked and squishing, you turn around and pull your sword to face the oncoming sound, whatever that is. Noel, you're sort of resting at the bottom of this little rivulet on your shield, which fortunately for you protected you from getting a mud streak all the way down your front as you slid down the bank. But yeah, you're now in the water, half submerged.
Oh, like a surfboard.
He's just like
this.
Surfboard paddling. All right. And Ronnie, are you following after him, or are you still waiting for the other two?
Ronnie's still where are these two? And she's debating whether to start walking back that direction to catch up, get them to hurry up, see if maybe they need help, or to just wait where she is. So I'm gonna ask this: do I at least see Gaddock coming? Because from what I can tell, Gaddock's obviously gunned it and left Stryker behind.
You hear a rustling sound in the tall grass back the way that you came. It could be human footfalls, but it's too distant for you to tell for sure. Noel, roll a 12 side for Dex to see if you can paddle to the other side of the rivulet.
I got a 9.
A 9, that's good enough. Yeah, you do your little row your surfboard and make it to the opposite bank, clamber up the opposite bank. And then turn and see that Ronnie hasn't crossed yet.
Oh, I can't roll for a run now, or no? That's my turn.
You can if you want. You want to keep going?
Yeah. I want to keep going.
All right, give me a 12.
Oh, and 12. Okay.
On
oh, sorry, not 12. 100 side.
Okay.
And on the thing of the rustling grass, Ronnie is going to approach where she's hearing the noise from, and as she's doing so, she's going to draw a weapon. I need somebody else to roll me a 6 side though.
Wait, no, I rolled a 34, by the way. And then
34.
You want me to roll 6 side, right?
Anybody who can roll a 6 side, roll me a 6 side.
Okay, I'll roll 6 side.
And then tell me what the number is.
I got a 6.
Oh, god damn it. So by accident, she draws Sergio's shovel out as the weapon.
All right, Ronnie with a shovel. Noel, you turn around and just book it through the tall grass and foliage, heading back to where you guys made camp the night before. Just leaving Ronnie and the rest of them behind. Stryker.
Yes.
You notice that Gaddock seems to have disappeared, leaving you by yourself with the body of Sergios and this thump running noise approaching very rapidly through the reeds. And as you're pulling your sword out, you see 2 large hulking shapes burst through the tall grass into your view. They look kind of like wolves, if wolves were 3 times that size and had sort of curved, arched backs and really spiny, coarse fur that stands up on ridges. You remember these things from a previous encounter in the forest. A pair of wargs.
Wargs. Here we go.
Here we go.
Roll initiative.
What's that? That was the
20 side.
20 side.
20 side?
No, not us. Just for him.
Just me. Okay, it kind of landed on the side, but it kind of went off.
Reroll it. That's all you can do at that point.
Well, it was more on the 20 side than
He's like, I don't want to not take the 20. I don't know if I'm allowed to take the 20.
Am I allowed to take 20? Do I gotta roll again?
Gotta roll again, man, if it's on the side.
Come on. That was like, it was right there too. I was like, it's more than 20. If not, it would have been 8.
It's either gonna be 14 or 8.
It was, yeah.
Oh, you had it on the other side. Oh.
Yeah, it was like
right
there.
On the side where the 14 was.
I know. I was close, but That's cool. I rolled a 12.
A 12. All right. Well, lucky for you, that puts you at the top of the initiative order.
Okay.
The wargs pause for a moment, seeing you facing them and in view, and with a weapon brandished, and they sniff and huff and glare at you, and they also sniff and huff and eye the carcass of Seregios on the ground there. Just a friendly reminder, you guys haven't really had a chance to heal up from your battle with Mogra, and as I recall, you're at 5 hit points left, sir.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Same for Ronnie.
So, might want to think about this.
I go.
You do have the fancy stone, though.
I know, but I'll have to break the bottle.
Maybe not.
I do got another bottle too, so
You might have to break the bottle. You'd have to try and see if it does anything for you while still in the bottle.
I go. I look at the body. I look up in the sky. I'm like, I don't want to leave you like this. I reach in my pouch and pull out the bottle.
All right. What you doing with it?
I grab it in my hand.
You feel a tingling warmth in the palm of your hand.
I go. And I crush the bottle as hard as I can.
Nice! Glass shards in the palm. Exactly what you wanted. Yeah, sure.
Hey, just blood.
All right. You feel the tingle spread up your arm, and the warmth turns to a chill, but also a surge of energy. What are you doing with it?
And I go, if I die here, at least I go protecting my best friend. And I straight up just go and uppercut one of the
Punch another warg. All right. All
right
right.
up uppercut. Just come in, boom.
Give me a 20 side for your attack.
That must be really bad today. Kind of landed on the side, but then it rolled down to 2.
A 2.
So it would have been 18, but it hit the side.
A 2. You run up to the nearest warg and try an uppercut, and the warg just sort of jumps away from you, snapping at you.
Hey, calm down. No. You know what I didn't think about?
Hmm?
No, I don't have that. Dang it.
Have what?
I was going to say.
You have second wing. You haven't used your second wing yet.
I don't have second wing.
Oh,
I don't think he does. He doesn't.
No,
I don't have
you're right,
second
he
wing.
doesn't.
He's got a tracking perk insteid.
Yep.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, I'm a hunter. I could talk to that. I was like, wait, I don't even have that. So I was like, I mean, I kind of came close one time. It's just one of those things.
Well, and they might not be too keen on talking to you now that you took a swing at one of them, so... Ronnie, you slowly advance towards the sound of running, rustling in the grass, and shovel in hand, you almost collide with Gadok, who stops just short of running into you.
As she stops, I want to have the shovel cocked back like I was about to hit whoever came out.
Oh, go on, do it. See if I care.
Where the hell have you two been? Where's Stryker?
What do you mean? He's right. Oh, son of a bitch.
Look, just keep heading towards camp. I'll get Stryker.
Fine.
And she takes a few more steps past you, not seeing the ledge, and drops down into the rivulet.
And as I watch her drop down the ledge, I just slowly look over. And then I just swung that small grin. You're really having fun with this today, aren't you? And I will sheave the shovel. But sensing that something's still not right, Ronnie is going to do second wind now while she goes looks for Stryker, because My hit points are low. I don't know what I might run into. If worst case scenario, Striker's just really struggling carrying the body. He's super tired. I can just huff the body and take it over.
All right, roll a d10 for recovering your health.
That is a 7.
7. Puts you at 12, I believe.
Yes. A 12.
Now run, Barry, run. Please stop.
Do I want to run? I will walk at a very brisk but angry pace.
That sounds like
Brisk but angry pace. Yeah, that sounds like Ronnie. It really does. Noel. Give me another 100 side, sir.
All right.
Oh yeah, he's busy trying to do a breaststroke. On his shield.
No.
Oh, no,
I already recovered from that.
Yeah, he did.
33. I got a 33.
He should be near the camp by now.
I mean, you guys walked for several hours before you got to the tomb, so you're not going to get there in just a few minutes. But Noel, you've covered an appreciable distance now from that rivulet you stepped in, and you're now on your own. Everybody else is well behind you. And by your estimation, you have already covered, maybe a quarter of the distance that you guys hoofed this morning. You should probably be back to the campsite before nightfall if you can keep up this pace.
Oh yeah, I'll be that guy who gets their campsite and make a fire signal so you know where everybody sees where it is.
You know what? That's actually pretty smart. Use your brain. That's what I'm talking about.
Right? Yeah.
That's assuming that you can find it yourself.
Yeah. Roll for direction. Oh, you roll 1. He goes. He ends up in Uruk.
Would that be the worst thing in this scenario, though?
He made it left at Albuquerque. It's not even a thing yet.
Hey, honey, I'm home. Oh, why all these gentlemen in my house?
And naked. And what's that one kid doing eating all the bread? Wait, is that art? Are you making art with that chisel in my hair? Like, I'm just recording this for posterity.
I hate you so much.
They rent a caravan on our ass.
Yes, a caravan, because trains haven't been invented.
Oh, y'all are terrible. Striker.
What's up?
It's filled with all the goods and services.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Both of the wargs lunge forward, dancing around you, trying to snap at your heels and your arms.
Dancing.
Yeah, you're dancing. And actually, you manage to avoid all of their attempts to nip at you, Mr. Nimble Feet here. So it is now your move.
What I got on me? Liquid. I still got the scale. I still got that rotting tongue, apparently. I should throw it at one of them.
Yes?
Take out the tongue and just toss it at one of them.
Roll me a 12 side.
11.
The warg also rolled an 11. But tongue is tasty. So one of the wargs catches sight and then scent of the rotting tongue that you toss and chases off after it and disappears into the tall grass. You can hear it snuffling around looking for this thing that you dropped. So for a moment now, you only have one opponent.
So I go. I give him my little bouncy sounds like, let's go, baby. And I was like, look at anything else? I was like, huh. I got this spine. Why the hell do I got this spine still? I was like, I wonder. Screw it. Let's find out. I take the spine out and I toss it directly in the opposite direction as the other one. It's like, I'm trying something here.
Give me a 12 side.
11.
That one rolled a 12. So
bitch.
you pull out this hunk of spine and toss it, and the warg watches it go, but then turns its eyes back on you. Apparently, you've got meat on your bones. It's more interested in the meat than the bones.
Like, but that had meat, a little bit of meat still on it, you know. So, no,
No, apparently not enough. You got a lot more meat on you than that little piece of spine had on it.
So then, from where I'm at, Reggio's, in that little hole that I was in, how far am I from it?
You're a couple of paces. All right, I gotta think about this now. You were heading southwest, so the hole is a few paces southwest of your current location, and Seregios' body is between you and the hole.
Okay.
The warg is currently facing you from the east.
I go. I sheath my sword. I go. I take the little thing, the little dark magic, pearly, mushy, whatever the hell the thing is.
Dark flubber.
Hey, thank you. That was
Dark
the one.
flubber, huh?
Dark flubber. Put it back in the pouch. Let it go. And I go. And I slowly start walking backwards.
Or it could be Gak. Anybody remember Gak?
I remember.
I remember Gak.
Stop showing our ages, man. Come on.
Oh my God.
Would that be closer?
It's cool till it's like 3 days old and it has all the like the dirt and lint and carpet strands on it. And but when you first get it fresh, it's nice.
The good stuff, yeah. Well used.
Not much like Play-Doh.
No spine and no. So let me do that right now while I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I start walking backwards, keep my eyes on it until I get close to Reggio's body. And so, and I go look down the body. I was like, I hope this works. And I go, come get me, you bitch.
All right then.
Start rustling with it. It's like, yeah, come on, you can't get me. Look at me. I'm tasty. I'm tasty.
All right then. Ronnie.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll come back to you. No, roll me another 100 side.
Oh wow.
We'll come back to Ronnie because let's see how you fare here.
Oh, sorry for the foul language, people.
I got a 46.
46.
Why are you apologizing?
Because.
That's hardly the worst thing that's been said on this
But that
show.
actually might be.
Yeah, seriously, I might actually do a compilation of all the things that Goat has said throughout all the recordings just to prove a point.
No, please don't. No.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you know how much torture that is for me though, because of all the footage I'd have to go through. You know how many hours of footage that is? Do you understand?
So, guys, if you want that to happen, please leave a comment down below.
Hey, great things require labor, man. It's just like
Great things require.
Yeah, somebody can pay me for that labor.
So 2.5 hours on average, and we're up to what, 35 episodes now? That's almost
and
that's
the
almost
last-
90 hours.
Yeah, and the last 4 or 5 episodes have actually all been about 3.5 hours apiece.
Well, we've had some short ones too, so I think average it'll come out to about 2.5. Anywho, Noel, with that
That's a whole
45, you continue barreling through the undergrowth, hardly slowing down at all. Your friends are a distant memory now. All you can think about is getting to that campsite, and you're making blistering progress without all that dead weight.
Hold on. I just realized I left the door open. I have to go close that real quick. I'll be
You
right back.
fool!
I
Wait, what-
know.
Wait, what about the dead weight? I'm making blistering progress in what?
Without all the dead weight of
Oh,
your
nice.
companions slowing you
Oh, yeah.
down.
All right, and that's the end of my turn, right? I just keep running, right?
I mean, unless you want to do something else.
No, I'll keep going.
All right. Keep running. Ronnie, you advance at a brisk walk back the way that you came, following the path that Noel mowed down through the grass and shrubbery.
Hopefully keenly keep my eye out for any slides.
Oh, you're gonna make me. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. However, I will make you roll a 12 side for perception.
Oh dear Lord, Ronnie, it must be hot. Sir Reggio's must have been the best thing to happen to Ronnie.
All right.
Natty 12. Let's go.
You hear a sudden snuffling and rustling in the tall grass ahead of you and to your left, and manage to step out of the way as a large, shaggy beast bursts out of the tall grass and lands where you had been a moment ago. It is another one of those wargs. Might be one of the ones Striker's already fighting, but you have no way of knowing. It's just a great big old beastie, eyeing you up hungry like.
You're picking the wrong time to want to pick a fight with me, beast.
It just sort of snarls at you.
Well then, if that's the attitude you're gonna take, and Ronnie's gonna feel out for Gravedigger and just slowly pull it out.
Roll for initiative.
So you're not gonna down throw, jab lock knee?
Not yet. Feeling out process, Goat. I gotta see if this thing knows how to play footsies or if it knows neutral first, okay?
Oh man, he spaces you out and punishes you hard, man.
Exactly. 13, by the way.
13. All right. Ronnie's got a 13. That puts you ahead of Striker in the initiative order, so you get the opportunity to swing at this beast, madam.
Ronnie is just going to do her usual steamroll and knock this thing down. She's just gonna choke up and just ball this thing over straight out.
All
Just
right.
clock it.
Give me a strength check.
One strength check coming up. 7 plus 5.
Yeah, that's enough. You choke up and charge forward, bash this thing with the haft of your battle axe. The beast yelps in surprise and actually topples over backwards. And you just sort of sidestep / step over the thing as you're checking it to the side. Let's see, Striker.
Yep.
The one remaining hound is going to lunge at you. Ooh, boy. And that was a natty 20. Yeah, so that's a 24 to hit.
Yep.
This thing lunges forward towards you. Now, I know that you were trying to set something up there, so what are you trying to do here?
I'm jumping backwards to see if he falls in that hole.
You're going to jump back, okay.
Are you going to jump backwards or jump to the side? Because if you're jumping backwards, that means you're jumping into the hole.
You're
as
going
well.
to jump in the hole.
If I'm right there at the hole, if I jump far enough back, I should.
All right.
So here's the question: how wide is the hole?
It's not.
Hey,
Not
do it with
that
flair. Do a backflip version.
Hell no, I'm not doing
wide.
that. Actually, you know what? Nah, screw that. You're right. I'm just gonna duck
Yeah,
down.
do it with flair.
Screw that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just ducking down.
I thought you said, okay, oh, you know, fuck that. I'm doing a double backflip.
Nope, because if I try to do a backflip, it'd be like Mystic Force.
You're gonna roll one and land on your head.
That's why I'm just ducking down.
Roll a 12 side for dexterity to see if ducking down allows you to position yourself so this thing sails over your head.
Gotta roll again.
Fell off the table.
Yep. I mean, this is why I need that little thing, man. We gotta get Mr. KWC to, mass produce.
I am calling him tomorrow to check on the finalized working version that he's doing for us now. And if that third demo is good, then I can get him to at least make those 3 demos for you guys while I try to find a more solid solution for a final product. If KWC is willing to do the final product, then I'll work with him. If not, I'll find another outlet for it. But in the meantime, no, you didn't say it right.
No, I didn't want to say he was talking, so I didn't want to say it.
Okay.
It's 10. It's 10 plus 3. So
No. Say the 10 right. It's
F you.
I know you wanna, but we're live on YouTube.
Well, I mean, if we survive this, I'm pretty sure Ronnie and Striker say screw.
We'll see if it goes that far.
So you rolled a 10. Was that with your modifier?
With the modifier 13.
13 with modifier. The warg rolled a 2. So you manage it. You duck down just as the warg is leaping at you. It sails just over your head. You can feel its fur on its underbelly brushing the top of your head as it sails over. And it lands on the ground behind you. Let me see what I want to roll for that. We'll give it one of these.
Fall in the hole. Fall in the hole.
That was low enough. You hear a satisfying squelching noise as the warg plunges face first into this hole. You turn around and it's actually kind of comical. The back legs are sticking up, kind of like flailing around. The whole front end, submerged like halfway up its chest, is buried in this hole.
And I go, it's time to go. They come up and I start booking. I think I'm going to start booking.
All right. Stryker and Ronnie both roll 100 sides.
Oh wait, I'm still in combat, right?
You are.
Yeah, I still got to roll.
That's not good. If I have to roll 100 side while in the middle of combat, this is not good. 38.
Jesus Christ, why are you so heavy, Reggie? 83.
Yeah. Okay. No. Give me another 100 side, my brother.
Okay, let's go.
Reggie's so damn heavy.
I got a 46 again.
All right. You manage to continue bashing your way through the brush and the tall grass. It bows before your might as you're sweeping it away and charging through, making incredibly good time. You will definitely get to camp before nightfall at this rate.
And
Right.
for some reason, Green Hill Zone is playing while you're doing it. I don't care what nobody says. Still is to this day the greatest song in all of Sonic's library.
And the millions of remixes on
Yeah.
on SoundCloud. Millions.
Still the greatest song. And it's even though it may not be my number one favorite, I cannot deny the brilliance of Green Hill Zone. I just can't.
Oh wait. Final Fantasy Victory Fanfare, the fanfare.
Which version? Wait, which version?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because even though they all start with they all loop into something different.
Yeah.
All except anything from 1 through 6 is the same, but after
7.
that it changes.
Yes. Oh, 7. I like 7s. That's what.
Everybody loves
Yeah.
sevens. How do you not like?
Oh, that has a bunch of remixes. That has
Yes, it
a
does.
bunch of. Oh my god.
And Final Fantasy VIII was one of them.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, sorry. I went off track, Mikey.
Yeah, just a little bit. Ronnie, the warg that you shoved roughly over, scrambles back to its feet and tries to take a nip at you, but it fails to gain any kind of purchase. You stay easily out of its reach. However, it is back on its feet, albeit you are now closer to the direction Stryker would be than it is. You're essentially between it and the direction Stryker is.
So,
What are you doing?
is my back towards that direction?
No, it depends. Are you turning your back on the warg, or are you turning your back on Stryker to face the warg?
Oh, is Stryker right there? Can I actually see
You
Stryker?
can't see him yet.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Stryker is the direction I was heading to go meet Stryker, is the warg in that direction?
Warg,
Or
Opposite
I-
color.
warg, you, direction Stryker is.
Okay, so off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Easier to figure out. So over my shoulder.
Yeah.
So, okay. Ronnie thinks about it for a minute. She's like, I want to go help Stryker, but if I leave this thing here, it's going to chase after us. I still remember Stryker's beat up. So there's no way around it. I just have to put this thing out of its misery. So
Alright.
Ronnie takes the axe, pulls back, and goes boom right in the sternum.
All right. Are you actually like swinging with blade or hitting with haft again?
Hitting with half again.
Half to get.
Oh, no, not with half. So the curve part of the blade where it curves in the middle, I'm hitting with that flat area there in the center, from the center.
You're hitting the flat with the flat of the blade.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Give me a 20 side.
That is 19 plus 7.
Yeah, that hits. Roll for. Let me think about this. You're using the flat of the blade. Roll a d6 rather than the 12.
Yeah.
We're talking half damage here because you're not using the actual blade.
And do I still add the +1 or not?
Yeah, I'll give you the +1, but make it a d6 instead of a 12.
So that's gonna be for 3.
Okay. That's with the +1?
With the +1.
Alright, and you got a +5 general damage modifier because of your ridiculous barbarian strength. So that's 8 total. Alright. You, smack...
Oh, heck, I did forget to add my strength to that just now, didn't I?
Yeah. So, don't worry, I got you. Don't forget that you also have the ability to go berserk now, since you just leveled up.
Oh, yeah! I can go berserk!
But you have to do that at the start of your turn, so too late now.
Obviously.
You haul back and whack flat of the blade against the chest of this warg. It collides solidly, the warg goes but it doesn't really seem to perturb it all that much, and it just sort of growls at you, and the lips peel back in a snarl. If you were hoping to frighten the thing off with that sort of gentle blow, it didn't work.
And I look the thing dead in the eyes as it's snarling. I go, "This is your last chance to walk away. If you don't, I'm going to be forced to kill you."
I love how Ronnie's talking to a wild animal as if it can understand her. Striker,
Yes.
about that moment, you come trudging through the tall grass, panting hard, Sergio slung over your shoulders, and you stumble upon this scene of Ronnie talking to this warg.
And I go, why? Why can't we just go home?
Mm-hmm.
This is either I or the ward know the striker.
You don't. Your back is to Striker, and you're talking to the warg.
Well,
You can't tell if the warg notices him.
well, according to you, we're off to the side of the road.
No.
No, that's not how... Sorry, I'm not just doing a great job of describing it, I guess. The warg
Okay.
is
I
to
understood
the
what you were saying.
southwest.
Mhm.
You are in the middle. Striker is to the northeast.
You're still on
You're
that
in,
path.
you're in a line.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. So your back is to Striker as he's approaching you guys. You do not see him.
And I so as I approach, I go, oh, and I hear her saying that. I was like, I go over, look around, and say, you know what? I was like, I guess I gotta help. Pull out my sword. I said, Ronnie! Here I come.
And the minute he screams, "Ronnie, here I come," she goes, "Take your ass to camp."
But. Fine. pick it back up, and then I continue going.
And Ronnie's gonna wait until Striker gets a good distance behind her and start slowly backing up to keep space between her and the ward and Striker.
Well, Striker, you're going to have to go around Ronnie and the ward
Yep.
in order to continue towards the camp. You doing that?
Yep.
Alright, as you try to dash around, the ward whirls and tries to nip at you. It just barely misses catching your hamstrings,
Woo!
which is amazing
Nice.
considering you've got 200 pounds of dead weight around your shoulders.
So wait, it's low to the ground?
Hmm?
You said it try to grab for his hamstrings.
It's a big creature, but yeah, it can bite pretty much any part of the body that's within reach, so it was trying to go for the hamstrings, yeah.
That's why I asked it to get low to the ground to do that.
Oh, it didn't have to get real low. It's not like prone or anything. It just had to reach down with its face. Think about how a dog would attack someone, a large dog breed would attack someone. It doesn't have to get on the ground to bite at your heels.
I mean, technically, it's already at the ground.
Okay, granted, a Great Dane isn't necessarily 6 feet, but it's also not prone if you were looking for some kind of like advantage on your next roll.
No, I wasn't looking for advantage. I was just looking to catch this thing as its head was coming up. I just need to know the exact positioning of its head and how it's angled to know if that was
I got you. Yes, the head goes down to bite at the legs, and
I go, curb stomp this bitch, and I keep running.
and on that statement, Ronnie does what she does best.
It's not your turn yet. You had yours. You chose to smack it with the flat of your blade.
But the work just went. I figured it was my turn.
Attack of opportunity, because he went within its range trying to get around it. It got an attack of opportunity. It actually has an opportunity to attack you in a little bit, but first we're going to Noel. Noel! Give me another 100 side.
Let's see what I get.
Let's see, how far
I got a 41.
41. My God, you are just like the unperturbable steamroller here, chugging through the foliage.
Where's Gaddock?
Nobody knows. Gaddock is like disappeared.
Even catch up to him?
Let me go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
All right.
Oh, you just gonna keep trucking.
The warg, having unsuccessfully tried to bite at Striker, is gonna turn now and try to snap at you, Ronnie. And that's a... What is this? 16 to hit?
Negative.
All right. Whirls and tries to snap at you, but you were already kind of half winding back to swing at it, and so there's nothing there for it to bite. Now it is your move.
All right, the bathrooms are occupied.
Since this thing is probably at a standing base now, Ronnie is going to use the axe to sweep this thing off its leg. And by sweep, I mean just cut its leg off to make it lose balance. And then she's going to then do exactly as Stryker said and curb stomp it.
Okay, all right. Give us a 20 side for your attempted leg sweep slice.
14 plus 7.
That's enough. Yeah. Roll your 12 side. I assume you're using the edge of the blade this time.
Well, I'm fitting to cut off a leg.
Yeah. Roll your 12 side for damage.
So that is 7 plus the 1,
plus
so 8.
6, yeah.
Plus
5 more.
5. Yeah. So.
All right, 13 points of damage. You know what? I'm gonna do this. Let's see. Give me a 12 side for strength.
Oh, well then. Are you challenging me now?
Yes.
Well, that's a 10 plus 5, so 15.
Yeah. The ward failed its Constitution saving throw. You whirl the axe and slice, and it goes clean through the leg. The beast howls in pain and teeters on 3 legs, stumbles backward, and then falls over backwards.
Well, we're gonna put an end to this, ladies and gentlemen, as we've done so many. Ronnie gets in her favorite position, winds back.
on the next run. Now I gotta roll for its buddy.
Oh yeah, the one in the hole.
There's a warg in the bottom of the hole. There's a warg in the bottom of the hole. There's a warg. There's a warg. There's a warg no longer in the bottom of the hole.
Aww, but the song was so catchy.
There's some mud on the warg in the bottom of the hole. There's some mud on the warg in the bottom of the hole. As you're hauling back, Ronnie, you hear a ka-thump, 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 ka-thump in the grass behind you.
Hearing that, Ronnie is going to, with all her momentum of raising her axe, swing in the direction of the ka-thump and just catch this warg as it comes through the grass.
Roll a 20 side for that.
Yo, that would be hilarious.
That would be 18 plus 7, so...
The ward rolled a 2.
Please say that's just a finishing blow right there. As soon as he comes full force.
You whirl around as you hear this thunk, 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 and your
Swing.
axe cleaves right into the thing's mouth, which is gaping open, hoping to chomp down on your exposed back. And you just bite in and almost completely severs the jaw on this thing. It screams with a blood-curdling force and topples over to the side, scrambles up, flailing around. Its jaw is hanging on by like a piece of sinew, and that's it. And blood pouring everywhere, and this creature's just howling and carrying on. Striker, you hear all of this carousing and carrying on, screaming, howling, shrieking behind you. What are you doing, man? You gonna keep going?
I was like,
Yep.
yeah, dude, pretty much. I was like, damn, that's my girl. Because I go like this, like, if I turn around now, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Roll 100 side then. See how far you get.
Oh, apparently, thinking about going back to help her really scared the crap out of me because I rolled a 12.
Yeah, you know why? Because in his head it's still replaying her yelling at him with gold camp.
That screaming could be you. You adjust Sergio's on your shoulders and start hot stepping it. And
I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
You got this nice clear path that Noel has mowed down for you, and so you just stick to that, and thankfully you don't fall into any more holes.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
You do come upon the little rivulet, but thankfully you don't fall down the slippery slope.
Is Gaddock still at the bottom of it?
Gaddock is actually in the process of like climbing out and shaking herself off, still sopping wet. Striker, roll a 12 side for dexterity to see if you can negotiate the slope with Sergius on your back.
Come on, baby. That is a 1, 2, 12, baby.
Before or after?
No, it's actually 12. It's 12.
Natty 12, alright. You managed to negotiate that slope with
Almost didn't
surprisingly
happen.
little difficulty.
Almost didn't happen. It literally hit the other dice. It almost didn't do it, and then it went boom, boom. I said,
He's over here playing cool with his dice.
I hear that, yeah. I'm
I
calling
thought we were playing
shenanigans.
craps, man. What's
I got
wrong
scared
with you?
'cause it hit it, and I was like, no. And then I said, yeah.
I'm calling shenanigans on this.
Hey, my dice saved me. I don't get what anybody says right now.
He was trying to hit the corner pocket.
No, because if it would have either hit a 2, a 3, a 6, a 9, or 8. So right now, it probably would have been a 2 if it didn't hit my dice. I just put it like that. Why? Because it's bullshit and it doesn't like me. But today, my dice saved me. I love you guys.
You
Come here, guys.
know it only counts if you call the ball and the pocket you put it into before you put it in there, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't need to know that.
I'm kissing my dice right now. Don't look at me.
You managed to clamber down the slippery slope and wade carefully across the little rivulet. Fortunately for you, the water only comes up to a little bit past your ankles, so it washes the mud off a little bit, but it's not too bad. And managed to catch up to Gaddock on the opposite bank just as she's finished wringing out her soaking cloak and muttering obscenities that would make your mother blush.
I go. Yeah, let's hey guy, how you doing?
Might
I know
be.
you're not doing good, but I just want to say how you doing because I'm a little. You see, as my cheeks go a little red. I'm like,
She glares at you and utters a few more obscenities that would make Noel's wife blush.
Listen, with the things Noel's wife's doing right now, I highly doubt that.
let's just go.
You underestimate Gaddock's capabilities with obscenities.
And I'm like,
You underestimate my whole entire imagination.
I was like, why do you always hunch over so much? Look at you. You stand up straight. You be. But I was like, no, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Her eyes flash dangerously at you as you make that comment, but she doesn't say anything else. Let's see, Ronnie. The poor, dislimbed, warg tries feebly to sit up and snap at you, and fails miserably, with like a 14 to hit. So that's definitely not going to work.
So when
It's
that would be disadvantage winning because he's only got
Yeah.
one good hit.
yeah. So
Either
it's-
way, you would have made it out of there.
it's your move.
Which one do I kill first? You know what? I'm gonna go for a 2-for-1.
All right.
Ronnie's gonna take the one whose jaw she just dislocated and throw him directly on top of the other one. And then she's just gonna wind back the axe and just cleave through the both of their heads.
All right. Give me a 12 side for strength to see if you can wrestle this flailing warg
I
into
want to see
position.
this.
That'd be 15 total.
15 total. That's good enough. Alright. You grab hold of this warg and haul its ass over, and it's still flailing around, but you manage to get it in position, and it sort of stumbles over its brother, and surprisingly stays in position for at least a couple seconds. Give me the 20 side to see if you could pull this off. But since you're trying to hit both of them, I'm going to give you disadvantage on this.
Okay, so that's 1. That's 2. So the first one I rolled a 19 plus 7.
Mm-hmm.
The second one I rolled an 11 plus 7, so that would
Okay.
be 18.
18. That's just barely good enough. Barely good enough.
That means I don't
Alright.
have 17.
Give me the. If you'd gotten one less, you wouldn't have managed it. Give me your damage.
All right. Do I have to roll twice for both, or?
No, just once.
Okay, cool. So let's see, that is 6 there, plus 1, that's 7, plus 5,
12 overall.
12 overall. So
Gets divided evenly among the two that you just tried to clobber. Okay. You haul back and cleave into them. Your axe bites through the shoulder of one, clean through and into the shoulder of the other one. They both howl and yelp and carry on. And at this point, let's see.
now you said it
here.
bit into both of their shoulders. And what angle exactly is it? Higher or lower on the shoulder? Like,
Lower on the one on top, and about middle of the one on the bottom. The one on the bottom is the one with the severed leg.
No.
yes.
Oh, jeez.
Yes,
Next
I'm
turn,
gonna
I
do
already
it.
know what he's doing.
Yep,
Alright.
I'm doing it.
Well, we'll see what you're doing, because the warg whose jaw you've ruined at this point is wanting to bail the heck out, and it scrambles and is trying to get away.
How? It's pinned at this point, right?
It's not really pinned. I mean, are you leaving your axe in the warg on the bottom?
Yes, I am.
You am. Okay. All right. So in that case, see if it can make a.
Jason already knows where this is
I
going.
know. That's why I'm like, God damn it, man.
Yeah, that's not,
Like,
that's not
and
gonna be
Mikey,
enough
as many
to
times as
overcome.
this has happened, you should know where this is going to.
I don't know if I want to know where this is going, man.
Anime
Same way
rules.
it goes, the same way it goes every other time when Ronnie does something
I
like
don't
this.
know if I want to know where this goes. All right.
Anime rules. Just let it happen.
It struggles mightily and tries to get away from the axe, but doesn't quite manage it. Although you can hear sinews tearing around its wound if you take longer than one more turn to do what you're gonna do. It's probably gonna break free. No,
It'll take longer.
Mm-hmm.
give us 100 side, brother.
Oh, I was terrible. I got an 88.
An 88. Your incredible foliage crushing streak finally comes to an end.
As he blows up finally, he's just completely winded. He hasn't been drinking any water to keep up his strength.
Oh no.
He's just blown up. He's got a bad wheel now. He's basically hunched over, limping, trying to gasp for air.
Yeah. Start staggering, go, clutching a stitch in your side, more
me a
leaning
second.
on the shield than actually using it to bowl through the shrubberies at this point.
Oh man.
But you know what? You do have the ability Second Wind.
What's he need it for? He didn't take any damage. He's
That's
fine.
true.
No.
But he could get it. He could take it to get his wind back.
I'll just roll good in the next few turns.
All
and
right.
get
All
it back.
right.
Sure.
Okay, now he
I
starts
don't know if I'm
walking.
gonna almost get killed and
That's
need it.
fair. You never know with me. I could spring another Warg on you. Striker,
Yeah.
roll your 100 side for
100
Your
side coming
progress.
ready up.
Let's go, Striker. Let's go. 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 Let's go, Striker.
It was
Let's
funny.
go.
It almost rolled off. Yeah, I'm just having close calls again today, but I got 16. But it literally stopped. Right there
16 on the
edge of
100 side. All right.
It
Something.
literally stopped right on the edge of the table, like right there.
Something
You know what?
about those horrible howls and shrieks coming from behind you spurs you to a very quick pace, despite the heavy burden on your shoulders, and you just book it through the crushed foliage that Noel's left behind, and it's all that Gaddock can do to keep up with you.
Ronnie's gonna kill me. Ronnie's gonna kill me. Ronnie's gonna kill me. That's all I'm saying. And then I think about Gaddock when I see. I was like, Ronnie's gonna kill me. Ronnie's gonna...
Ronnie, we're back to you.
So
Do it.
This is what we're doing. Ronnie's going to do what she's done so many times before. She's going to step on top of the axe and push it in deeper to get a full cut and cleave through all of it. Then, because it's just the shoulder on these guys, once she feels it press all the way through to the ground, she's going to rake the blade on up and through to finish cutting them both in half in one go.
That's some anime rules there. All right,
Told you.
give me a 12 side for strength.
I'm just at this point we're putting all of our eggs in Ronnie's best basket. Oh, godly, natty 12.
All right. You stomp on the haft of the axe close to the head, forcing it further down. The two wargs, of course, continue shrieking in pain. You can feel crunching of sinew and bone under the blade as it bites through. The warg that's on top, because the axe only carved through the lower portion of its shoulder, the axe carves completely through and the warg breaks free and is now able to stumble back. The leg is completely disabled and it's hobbling around on three very unsteady legs, its jaw hanging loosely, but it does manage to get free and get on its feet. The one underneath is not so lucky. Roll your 12 side for damage to the one underneath.
6, 7,
12.
12.
Okay. The warg that is now free is going to attempt to flee for its life, but considering it now only has 3 working limbs, it's got disadvantage on that. Wow. 12 and a 10. The 10 is going to be good enough. Yowling and still bleeding profusely from its myriad wounds, it hobbles away into the thick, tall grass on its 3 legs and leaves a trail of blood behind, but eventually disappears. The one on the ground is now sort of panting and whining feebly. It's no longer really able to howl and scream the way it was earlier. Blood everywhere. The axe is buried almost up to the other side of the double edge. So it's pretty deep in that poor creature now. Noel,
Dinner.
let's have 100 side, sir.
All right, let me see if I get my win back. Let's go, baby. Holy crap! That's terrible.
His facial expression told me different.
I know, right? What you get?
What'd you get?
I got a 98.
Oh, he pretty much at that a crawl. He's just like, he looks like he just came out of a huge battle.
No, he's taking a nap right now.
This man blacked out next to a tree.
You start getting tunnel vision as you're. You think maybe your asthma's coming on here a little bit. You're stumbling forward. You put a hand on a tree, reaching around for your inhaler.
Except for they don't exist.
Except for they don't exist. So, oh man, you're
It's
up
just
shit
a little.
creek,
It's just a
man.
little thing with air in it. Go.
So he's looking for a leaf.
Yeah.
He's looking for a rolled up leaf.
You start to think that maybe running at full speed for like an hour straight in full armor wasn't the smartest idea. But, oh man, yep, you're feeling it now. Striker,
Jeez.
give us 100. Give us 100.
87.
All right.
Start slowing down a little bit.
You do, yeah. The extra weight is certainly getting to you, and the screams of the wargs are growing more distant and no longer serving as the prime motivation that they had been. That being said, the grass is sort of starting to thin out a little bit. The foliage is a little bit thinner here as well, and you can see a dark form ahead, sort of hunched over, leaning against a tree in the distance.
I go. Nah, you catch her to him that fast. I was like, huh. I look at Gada. If she's still next to me, I'm like, Gada, that look like a big wide load over there.
Yes, it does, I think.
Yeah. I think that might be no. Let's go. Come on. I know. We're almost there. You can do it. I believe in you.
Of course I can do it. It doesn't
That's
mean I
right.
enjoy it.
You go, girl. Lady, woman thing.
I can just actually just imagine him doing that while holding Sergio's body like this. Just
You go, girl.
And
it's
somewhere
so
up above, Seregios is just going, oh, good God.
Hey, shut your mouth. Let's go. I could have left you back there. I was like, wait,
Ronnie,
why can't I hear his voice? Oh, Lord, I'm going crazy. Oh, my God.
it's that stone, that cursed stone. You had to bring it with you. Now you're hearing, Striker.
Oh,
I'm
God
haunting you.
damn.
Actually, because it's Sergio's, it'd be more like, didn't I tell you that if I died because of you, that you wouldn't be able to get rid of me?
You didn't die because of me.
That has yet to be proven.
You know what? I just keep running.
I like this idea of Striker just hearing Seregios' voice every now and then. We might continue this.
Roll for sanity check.
Yeah, we might continue this. I like this idea. Ronnie, back to you.
So this warg is officially just trapped under the axe,
Mm-hmm.
barely breathing,
Mhm.
blood dripping. It's a beautiful sight. It's a beautiful day. Ronnie's gonna put this thing out of his misery finally. She's gonna grab the hand axe and she's just gonna slit its throat, nice and clean.
All right, give me a 20 side with advantage because it's pretty well trapped.
It's 19, and that's 18. So not much difference.
Good enough. All right.
And that's
roll for
before.
your
And that's
damage.
before obviously adding in the +7. So
Mm-hmm. Roll your damage.
that hand axe is 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, baby, that was 6 right off the bat.
All right, 6 plus 5. How do you want to do this?
So Ronnie walks over to the thing. She sees that it's just like it's trying to move, but it can't, and it's basically gargling on its own blood at this point. And she just slowly kneels down next to it,
Quiet.
and she cradles its head slightly. She looks down at it and goes, "Like I told your friend, forced to kill you. And just slowly, methodically, but with no emotion, straight across the throat. And just watches as it bleeds out its final breath.
Ronnie's really sadistic.
Yes.
Yeah. It gargles and gargles its last gasp and finally lays still.
Ronnie gets up and pockets and holsters the hand axe. She rips the gravedigger from out of this thing's body and swings it over her shoulder. And she looks down at it. And she looks at the trail of blood. And she takes a moment to think about it and decides better against it and proceeds to head towards the trail that Noel has so graciously left behind.
All right. Striker. Gain
Yes.
50 experience points for managing not to die against 2 wargs, and for the clever trick of stuffing one in a hole. And Ronnie,
That would
gain
be-
150 XP.
I gotta do maths. 2035.
Okay, hold on. I have to take these headphones off for a second. I'm having a hard time reaching my laptop with these things the way I have the wire looped today.
No!
There we go.
Mhm.
Give us
All right.
another 100 side. Let's see if you
All right,
pass
man.
out.
It's better than last time, but not saying much. I got 71.
71.
Oh, I took up all my luck.
Still wheezing and struggling to stand, you just sort of lean against this tree.
You did say 150, right?
Yes, 150. And look back, and you can actually see 2 figures. One of them who looks like he's got a very large burden slung over his shoulders that could only be Stryker with Sergio's body, starting to catch up to you. Stryker, give us 100.
You did say 150, right?
Yes, I did say
Okay.
150.
Excellent. Then I got the right number now. So I'm at 1925 currently.
Confirmed.
41.
All right. After a few more minutes of not so much running anymore, but brisk walk, brisk trudge, you manage to catch up to Noel.
Okay. Well, as I'm walking towards him, I'm just going, dang, man, all this just for this crystal. I'm thinking this in my head, I'm not saying out loud because I don't want Gary to know I still got this thing. I'm just thinking, like, dang, all this for this crystal. And I think back to the first crystal that we thought back, and I thought about it. And I'm holding his body. I look at his body. I look at my pouch. I look at his body. I say, no, I mean, he still had a head. I wonder would it work. And I just keep walking.
Interesting thoughts.
It's like, you know what? I think this might be a dangerous time. Do I want to? And this was my best friend. He fought a lot. It might work. Or it could come back as a horrible, horrible.
But he ain't got no head.
Hey, this crystal is powerful. You don't know. His head might just pop back on like bloop.
And thus the Headless Horseman was born.
You know
Cursed
what?
to
If
live
Sergio's was
without a
to
head.
run around without a head for the rest of this whole thing, I would do it.
I know you
totally
would.
do it.
I know you would.
So I'm like, you know what?
But I'm also going to advise against using the void stone in any ways of me necessary.
That's what I'm walking. I'm like, da 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 da. That's it. And so, like I said, I'm thinking about the first time that we did this before. I was like, you know what? He damn near turned evil. But if it wasn't for, and I was like, what was her name again? As I can't remember her name for another thing, I was like, her name is right there on the tip of my tongue. I know it. I know it. Think about it later. Let's go. Just keep shrugging.
Well, Ronnie, are you pursuing that warg, or are you trying to catch up with the rest of the crew?
No, I said that already. Like she thought better of it. She
You're
just
definitely
decided to go and
pursuing the
follow
rest of the
the.
crew. Okay.
Bringing dinner, right?
All right.
Actually, yes. Ronnie is going to bring that dead warg's body to eat.
You're gonna haul the dead warg. Oh, all right, all right. I'm not gonna
She's
make you do a
literally-
strength check for it because it's Ronnie, but You're gonna take a little while to get there. Noel and Stryker and Gaddock, after another hour or so of trudging through the foliage, you manage to reach the general area where you think you had camped the night before. The sun is right on the edge of the horizon. I'm gonna need all of you to roll 12 sides for perception to see if you can actually find where you camped.
Ooh, I rolled good that time. I got a 10. There you go.
I got a 9.
Noel and Stryker, between the two of you sweeping around, you do manage to locate the very shallow rise that you had chosen the night before to keep you up out of the damp and the cold. And you guys managed to settle in to start setting up camp. Noel, what are you doing to set up camp?
I asked Stryker if he could set up the tent or whatever, and I'll just try to make a fire.
All right.
We didn't even have a tent. We all slept outside. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Do any of you even have a tent in your inventory?
Nope.
No. The closest thing that anybody had was Ronnie's bedroll, but she gave that to our dear priestess Etana when she was healing people to allow them to be more comfortable when they were laying down on top of boxes.
Nice. That's right. That was uncharacteristically generous, I think. All right. Noel, roll me 100 side for your efforts to start a fire. Stryker, what are you doing?
I'm just laying down. Put Sergio's down to the side.
What is going on? I got a 91.
See, that reaction was more encompassing with the idea.
So I take Sergio's body a little bit further away. From I was like, you know what? I'm looking at him. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put you over here, buddy.
No,
a little further away.
You scavenge around for anything that could be used as firewood. Everything is just so damp. You pile some sticks and things together, and you sit there with your flint and steel. Nothing catches.
Oh man!
I go, let me try. I grab his flint and steel, and I try to strike it one good time.
All right, give me 100 side.
Underside coming
He rolls 100.
Oh no, that's a 75.
You lit it up
75. 75.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we're rolling.
You go.
We're rolling terribly.
And you start to smell some smoke. And you look around. You don't see it coming from the fire. And then looking down, you realize you set your cloak on fire. Oh shit!
I was like, wait, it's not even my cloak.
What the hell did you set on fire?
No says you might as well throw it in the fire. It doesn't even matter.
Sergio's. Actually, no, it was that one guy that was on the boat. We took his, so I was like, oh, that's not my cloak. Toss it to the fire. But that doesn't help.
All right. Well,
Actually, I think is Ronnie carrying Sergio's cloak?
Yeah, she got Reggio's
She
stuff.
got Sergio's
I had
stuff.
that one from that one.
So wait. I gotta ask this. Ronnie took all of Sergio's gear. Does that mean Sergios is butt-ass naked?
No, he still got pants on.
I mean, he still got clothes on, but she has his armor, his flask, his playing cards, the pouch that he was carrying his stuff in, the hero's kit, the shovel, obviously, and she picked up the cloth with the inscriptions on it that he made, but she did not actually take the actual cloak. So his body still has the cloak on.
All right, so he's still wearing his cloak, such as it is, minus a hood for where his head was.
Essentially.
So yeah, it was the cloak you borrowed from the sailors then, Stryker, that we set on fire? Oh boy. Well, at least that'll get the fire started with all the wet kindling.
I'll toss it right on the thing. Okay, and I put it over the fire. I was like, I'm going to go sit down over here.
Ronnie, roll a 12 side for perception.
12 side? What is that?
Ronnie. Oh, sorry, that was my neighbor opening the garage door.
Oh.
I'm right above the neighbor's garage, so it's very noisy.
What kind of garage they got? They got an Optimus Prime garage?
It's terrible. I tell you what, it's terrible.
Can only be one.
So Ronnie, roll 12 side for perception. Striker, you said you're just going to sit off to the side. Gaddock is actually going to huddle right next to the fire, trying to dry off her clothes. Noel, you're still a little bit damp yourself. You gonna try and dry off by the fire? What you doing?
Yeah, I like to dry. I'll dry up on the fire.
What'd you get, Ronnie?
So I've said it once, and I'm gonna say it again. Apparently, Sir Reggio's dying is the best thing that happened to Ronnie for the night because all of her rolls have been impeccable. This is my third natty 12 of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a little spooky. There's some spooky action going on here.
You have no idea.
Sir Reggio's ghost. Sir Reggio's really is haunting all of y'all.
Yeah, he is.
Giving Noel a frenetic burst of speed and energy and then taking it all away. Talking to Stryker in the back of his mind and giving Ronnie great rolls. So Ronnie,
and don't forget Gaddock taking falls and tumbles in the water,
yeah,
ditches and such.
Ronnie, you trudge along hauling this warg. It is too big to carry, but you can haul it by its hind legs and drag it behind you.
That's about how I imagined.
Yeah. And you wander along for about an hour. The sun finally sets. It's getting harder and harder to follow the path that Noel made. But fortunately, just as the sun is setting, you see a little yellow glimmer appear in the distance in the direction that you're traveling.
Ronnie sees the glimmer. She cracks that beautiful grin that she always gets when things are just going her way. She continues to haul this thing behind her.
Mm-hmm.
Still has her axe out on her shoulder just in case something else decides to pop out at the last second.
Striker, you doing anything as you're sitting down by the fire?
Looking in my bag, and if I'm not mistaken, I got one bottle left.
I think so, yes.
I
You
think
poured
that was
out the one that had dust in it.
Yeah.
The one you have left is the one with the green liquid, I think.
The green liquid.
Trying to find my notes for that.
If I'm not mistaken, because I know it was.
The one was like a weird white liquid, which you ended up igniting at the one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one vial left of green liquid.
And I have no idea what that is.
Nope.
So I'll go.
You can always pop it open and take a sniff like you did the last time.
That's what I'm thinking about doing. So yeah, actually, I'm just gonna take it out, pop it a little bit, take a sniff, and see if it smells like a potion or could it be
Roll a
poison.
12 side for Constitution.
Uh-oh. You said Constitution. That ain't good.
That is a 5.
9
4.
overall. Okay.
5 plus.
It's an incredibly acrid smell, and you almost feel your nose hairs shriveling up and falling out as you inhale. Pull away real sharply from it. You don't know what it is, but it's hella strong.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to. And I look at his body. I was like, I mean, we'll see what happens. And I think I pour it on Sergio's around his little open head.
You pour
yes,
this.
just desecrate the dead body.
What?
Trying to regrow a head.
I'll see if his head grows back. You know, you never know.
Clearly, Serge is genre savvy here. You pour this vial of green liquid over the stump of Sergio's neck, and it just melts away even more.
Okay, that was good. That's all I needed to know.
Smoke and fumes coming out of the wound as it burns away. Are you emptying the whole bottle, or you just drizzling a little bit on it?
I put a little bit on it. I ain't do the whole thing. Then I go, you know what? I'll just pour it over here somewhere out of the way. Pour all of it out.
You pour the rest of it out. It hisses and sizzles as the foliage and the leaf litter melts away,
Then
leaving
I go,
a blackened hole.
Then I slowly just sit there with my bag, just going through stuff, and take the little void stone and just pop that one into that. Poop.
You feel that brief tingling of energy as you pick up the void stone, but that dissipates to a somewhat numb tingling feel as you stuff it in the bottle. Uh-oh, we've lost him again.
Oh no.
There
he is.
Almost.
Oh, there you go.
Almost.
Almost there? Yeah.
Yeah, he's back.
Yay.
Okay. I was asking how deep was that little hole with the little acid was.
An inch or two.
inch or two,
Mm-hmm.
and take the bottle, and I just slowly slide into that little hole and just cover it up with
All
dirt
right.
and stuff.
All right.
Then I see. Can I look around to see if I see like a nice little side stone, like a big stone, just to put on top of it?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So perception. Here we go.
Noel, you why don't you give me a
Nope.
12 side as well for perception?
Okay.
That was a 2.
2.
Oh my god! I got a 1.
A 1.
Better than me.
Even though Stryker is doing this like right next to you, Noel, you're blissfully ignorant of whatever it is he's doing, just gazing into the fire and warming your hands like, ah yeah, this is the life, man. Stryker, you cast about for a stone, and to your surprise, you don't find any. Apparently the area is just too marshy and too muddy. If there were any stones here at any point, they all sank long ago.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as it's covered up with dirt and nobody can see it, that's fine with me. And I go like, you know what? Let me know when Ronnie makes it here. She'll probably be bloody. Well, at least one of her weapons will probably be bloody. And I'll just go in and close my eyes for a bit. And just lay back.
Ronnie, it takes you the better part of an hour to make it the rest of the way back to camp, but you do sidle in an hour after nightfall, pulling up to the roaring campfire. You're not really sure how they got it to go so fiercely, considering how damp everything was around here, but certainly large enough to roast your warg.
Well, that's definitely surprising. Now we can properly cook this baby. And Ronnie just strolls in the camp, humming to herself. And she walks up to the fire, dragging the warg. She drags it just about like a foot away from the flame, lets go of its leg, looks around, and goes, well, this puppy ain't going to carve itself. I'm going to need you boys to help me get this thing set up and straddle dry.
Yeah, I'm asleep. I'm passed out.
And she turns around and looks at Stryker. Of course. And she turns and looks at Noel. Knows he's still just sitting here like this, completely ignorant to anybody's presence.
Yes. Yeah, I am. I'm like, I'm exhausted.
And then she looks around to try to see what Gaddock's doing, because surprisingly during all this, neither one of you have paid any attention to Gaddock.
Gaddock has stripped down to her small clothes and has her cloak and vest and stuff laid out as close to the fire as she can get them without them catching fire, so they'll dry out. And she just sort of hunched on the opposite side of the fire from Noel, sort of stewing, gazing into the flames, not really seeing anything, although she does glance up briefly as you arrive, Ronnie.
Ah, the boys are lazy, the girl is naked. Well,
Lazy. I'm at
time
5
for
hit
mo-
points.
time for Mama to do some work. So, she first violently shakes Noel out of his stupor. Just full on one hand shoulder and shake fiercely.
It's like, yo, chill out. I'm trying to recover.
And she looks down at you. Hey, dinner. Help me set up. And then she turns your head towards the wall, the dead wall on the ground.
Oh, look. I mean, do we cook it like pork? I don't know. Like, what do we? What do we?
Well, for now, you can start by hacking off its limbs to make it easier to put on the spit roast.
Does anybody have garlic?
Oh, you're funny and cute sometimes.
Or
And
anybody has
she walks
time?
away. And she walks over to Stryker. She gives him a look over, remembering that the two of them took quite the beating back there in the temple. So she's just kind of mowing him over. She starts going through the pouch of Sir Regios' stuff. She pulls out like 2 things of cards, his flask, and then she finally gets to the healer's kit. And she looks at the healer's kit and looks at Stryker. Well, it's probably the best we've got.
There's a couple of feeble bandages and pads in the healer's kit, and that's about it. If you want, you can certainly use it on him.
Yeah, She'll use it.
Well, I say I got a big old open wound in my chest right now.
Yeah.
So I probably would help.
Striker, roll a 4-side to see how many hit points you recover from Ronnie's ministrations.
4.
Nice. All right, you're back up to 9.
Sure.
Not quite half health.
Nope, it's still better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. 1/3's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. I feel
No.
this. I feel this happening. I go, what's going on? And I open my eyes. I see Ronnie, and for a quick second, I go, wow. And then I come back to reality. Like, what the? I look down. I said, I would have been fine.
Yeah, I won't take the chance. And you can thank Sir Regios for the bandages.
And I look at his body and I go, I wish I could.
Regios, do you have anything to say on the subject?
If only I would have had time to use those bandages.
Yeah, I know. You would have had plenty of time. I'm sorry I couldn't help you.
That's all Regios gets to say, but Ronnie, any comments on him talking to himself?
Ronnie just kind of turns her head to the side and puts her hand on his forehead. Are you feeling all right?
I'm fine. I'm a little hot, but I'm fine. I'll be okay. Be okay.
You must be getting delirious. Why don't you rest a little longer, huh?
We got to make dinner, right? I'll help. I'll help.
You rest here. Me and Noel have got this. Besides, I can put Godok to work.
And then I look over and I look at Godok and I notice that she's damn near half naked. I go, yeah, I'm thinking we'll go take a nap now.
Uncharacteristically sullen, Gaddock doesn't even look in your direction, Striker, or attempt to tease you with the fact that she's half naked.
And I go, when I fully rested, I think I should talk to her. And I go, then I pass out.
So, Ronnie, Noel, roll 100 sides for me to see how well y'all get on with making dinner.
Oh, nice! Nice!
What'd you get?
I got a 4.
Oh man, we're over
Yeah.
good. 25 and 4. We're
I think my luck's back,
goddamn
guys.
perfect.
So,
Oh, Chef Noah's coming out now.
Gaddock,
It actually isn't the first time he's rolled good for cooking, so I'm just gonna believe that innately he has a cooking skill.
A little garlic, a little thyme, a little love. A little goose.
I said, I put my foot in this.
Yeah, you said a little gusha.
Good shot.
Little gusha.
So, Gaddock isn't particularly useful. She shuffles around, kind of helping set up the spit, but that's about all that she does. Ronnie, you and Noel make quick work of hacking the carcass up and setting it up on the spit. Noel, on the other hand, he goes around the perimeter of the campsite, picking up plants and stuff and like rubbing them and smelling them. Like, yeah, this would make for some good garnish, and yeah, this would make for some good seasoning. And walks down to one of the nearby little rivulets and scoops up some water, and getting all the stuff ready. And by the time the warg is cooked, you've got like these nice little stone plates with like garnish and stuff on them, and then the meat with the seasonings on them and everything. It's like, mwah. The meat actually doesn't smell bad, considering it's a warg, and they're not known for being particularly tasty creatures. And Striker, it actually smells good enough that it rouses you from your nap.
Oh, and I already know. I'm about to do it. I was like, and I wake up for a second. I was like, nah. Then it hits me again. I look over. I was like, Ronnie, you made this?
Nah, more like Noel did.
I look at Noah. I go, now Gaddock, you made this, right?
I was never very good at cooking.
Hey, Striker, stop hating. You know you want.
Remember the last time you cooked something? Oh, you must have had some time. I'll be the judge of this. I walk over to it. I barely can walk. I'll just get up and stumble over a little bit, like, oh god. Then I sit down, grab the thing. I'm like,
Best thing you ever ate, didn't you? Huh? Favorite. Yeah.
a little
Can't say
tender.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all you can say. Yeah.
Juicy. Mm-hmm.
You're
Okay.
holding you're holding back.
She put on this a little. Let's see, taste some little seasoning on it, and I go.
That's what you that's what you thought. That's what I
Just
thought.
going to tear it up. I was like, you know what? No. Now I know why your wife works at that brothel.
Oh, I work at the brothel, not my wife.
Sure. And then I go back to eating some more.
And while eating, Ronnie takes a seat next to Gaddock while watching these two banter, and she just kind of cracks a smile. It's like being back home with my brothers.
You can see a shadow flicker across her face that is not in any way related to the fire, and she just calmly, quietly gets up, shifts around to the opposite side of the fire from Ronnie, and sits back down.
Ronnie notices that. She knows what's wrong with Gaddock at this point. She's... okay. That was insensitive, Ronnie.
Well, I noticed this, and she gets up and goes over, moves.
Well, we're all 12 side. Let's see if you come up for air from the delicious food Chef Noel has prepared.
That is a 7.
Yeah, in coming up from one of your voracious bites, you see, you don't see the whole interaction. You just see Gaddock standing up from apparently next to Ronnie and moving around the other side of the fire, sitting back.
And I go, I know she's hurting right now. And I get up, go over towards her, sit down, and I say, get up. Get up.
She just puts a hand up on your lips, holds it there for a moment, and then goes back to slowly eating her food.
And I go, whenever you're ready to talk.
She doesn't seem to acknowledge you. Just keeps on eating.
And I get up and just go back over to Noel.
Noel, what do you think of your fine, fantastic confection?
I'm just like, oh man, I'm just so proud of myself. I'm like, Well, I cook, so I'm not cleaning up, and I go to sleep.
That's the way it's done.
Ronnie just kind of walks over, looks at the plates, and goes, wait, where did you get these from anyway?
They're just flat stones.
I
They
go,
just look surprisingly like plates.
And I go, I'll clean up. That's fine. So I take the other plates, flat stones, and I just go, flink, flink, flink.
You play shot put with him.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's my question.
Ronnie throws it like,
Here's my question. Is there anything left of the wall that we just cooked?
Oh yeah, there's tons and tons left. That's a huge
Okay.
beast. You're talking something the size of a man.
Okay, so Ronnie is going to try to prep this thing for travel just to make sure that it can, it doesn't go spoiled
Yeah.
overnight and all that. So
So I will say roll a 100 side for that. And then the rest of you roll 100 sides as well.
28.
30 even.
11.
Very nice, very nice. Ronnie, you successfully clean up and package away a few strips of wart meat. Not super dried out, but they should last a couple of days before they spoil. At least enough to get you back to town and then maybe a day or two on the ship. And you guys settle in for your evening, post your watch, and nothing eventful happens for the rest of the night.
I go, who wants to take watch? So who's taking watch?
Ronnie immediately takes watch.
Okay.
She's not giving anybody a chance to say different. she's taking watch.
She is in better shape than most of y'all.
Yep, that's what I wanted to
And
do.
Noah already said he was going to sleep.
Yep.
So there's no arguing with Noah on that one.
I go, all right, that's fine. I'm already still dying, so I go back. Still right next to Sir Reggio's. And before I lay down and go to sleep, I look over just to make sure nothing happened to that hole. And it's still covered up with dirt.
As far as you can tell, if you're remembering exactly where you put the thing.
Right next to his head, so I'm pretty sure I remember where it's at.
All right.
I was like, okay, it's still there. All right, let's go.
There's a small swarm of flies hanging around the severed neck, but that's about it. Everything else seems to be as you left it.
All right, that's fine. I go. Wake me up when it's my shift. And I pass out.
Are you wanting to sleep through the whole night, or are you wanting to do something on your shift, Striker? Because y'all passed your 100 side, so right, there isn't anything particularly interesting that's going to happen to you guys in the night. No more wargs.
I'm just going to sleep.
All right, Ronnie.
Yeah. Ronnie's gonna do two things. Ronnie recalls two things specific. One, a conversation she had with Sir Regios. Two, what happened when they left that godforsaken place.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie is going to search Stryker's bag.
Ooh. Give me a 12 side for Dex to see if you can do it without waking him.
That is a 9 plus 2, so 11.
Yeah, that is sufficient. You are able to sneak over and rummage through his bag without waking him. Striker, would you like to describe the contents of your bag that's being rifled through?
Well, since I took that little bottle out, the only thing that's still in there is the bag with strange. Did I use the bag with strange liquid?
Bag with strange liquid. Yeah, you poured that out. That was the thing you used to set fire to the forest and make a distraction while
Yep.
you guys were running.
Yep. So okay, I was wondering. I was like, I could have sworn I used that, and I couldn't. I don't know why I took it out. So the only thing you're probably gonna see in there is just the serpent scales.
Ooh, serpent scales. Something that Ronnie needs for armor.
Well, Ronnie needs dragon scales, but
They might be a close
will-
second.
yeah, they might. So she's gonna keep this in mind to ask Stryker about later. Can I roll perception to see if I notice the disturbed ground around Stryker?
You can try, but I'm going to give you disadvantage on that
And it's
because you
'cause it's
don't
dark.
know there's anything in. Yeah, it's dark.
Yeah. Okay. So the lowest one was a 4.
You look around, you don't see anything particularly noteworthy about the ground around where Striker or Seregios is. You do notice the flies hanging around Seregios' neck.
She looks at him. Long, kind of bewildered gaze. Just, oh, I was hoping we had more time for you. She thinks about it. She decides she's gonna kind of try to prep some of his body the same way she prepped the meat, and hopefully the flies and other things will leave him alone, and that'll give us more time to get his body out to sea and wherever we're gonna bury him to. I'm assuming Stryker wants to get him back to Kish. So.
Interesting. Alright, give me a 100 side to see if you can manage to prep his body for travel.
That one is finally the one that broke the camel's back. That is a 60.
You might know about preparing food, but not so much about preparing bodies. You're not an embalmer. And you drag his body over to the fire and try and do some things, and all you end up doing is like adding burn marks to his flesh. Like, just adding on top of the desecration of the corpse here. And after a few failed attempts, you realize this is not going well and decide maybe you should stop. And you just put him back roughly where he was.
All right.
Not exactly where he was. It's worth noting.
All right. So final thing.
Wicked
Ronnie
and
does.
Regios. You brought the body up. You put like over.
Put the hood, like put like a huge like round object where his head used to be. Take the hood and pull it over and make it look like he's trying to cover up his face, and he just sit there like this.
We find a really good taxidermist.
Oh yeah.
He stops rotting. We can bring him everywhere with us. Just a giant desecration.
I gotta ask, are you gonna try and mess with Striker? Are you gonna try and mess with Striker?
Maybe later.
Okay.
I'll think about it. But so the final thing that she's going to do is she's going to actually walk over to Gadok.
Gadok is curled up in her blanket. I suppose you could call it a blanket.
And Ronnie stands there and just, she doesn't do anything right away, but she's staring at Gadok. And the conversation that she's playing back over and over again in her head is about Gadok and whether or not they could be trusted. And the words of Seregios rings out time and time again. It'd probably be better to get rid of them than to keep them around. Gadok met an unfortunate fate. Ronnie knew that Seregios had something to do with it. But she's not going to dime the man out. He's dead. Plus, if what he said is true, technically speaking, he did the dirty work, so nobody else had to. But now she's got to think about getting back with these two and making sure they get back alive to get recouped. Is Gadok going to be a problem? That's the question that's weighing on Ronnie's mind. Ronnie's thinking that she could probably do the job right here, right now. But it's also not Ronnie's style.
Whoa! Wow.
What was that feedback?
Garage
Is that your garage again?
opener. Yeah, that's your neighbor's garage.
Okay.
Tell them stop opening and closing it.
They do this like 4 or 5 times a night. I don't know why.
So, instead of drawing a weapon, Ronnie kneels down beside Gadok and gently strokes her hair and just softly mutters, "Not much different from her."
Surprisingly, Gadok does not wake as you're doing this.
Ronnie gets up. She kind of just sits back in front of the fire, takes her post, and just continues to wait until her watch is over.
Alright. Your watch ends, morning comes, you all feel well rested and refreshed. Everybody who had less than full health points, restore your health points.
Oh, look at me! I don't have to restore nothing.
Seregios miraculously grows a new head in the night. Like, I'm fine, thanks!
I told you that I was named after a dragon.
Oh my.
Roll it.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, no, look, roll it. All you see is just like a little tiny.
Phoenix
I told
down.
you I was named after that dragon. This is like tiny little head like that. So,
Oh, I'm sorry then.
I told you I was named after a dragon.
You're insufferable prick!
We had the necromancer to summon his ghost, and it's the ghost of Regios.
Heaven else, fear my might and power.
Ghost Regios!
He controls people,
As he flies around with the shovel.
and he possesses one of us, and we get his skills.
Only his skills of sass. That's the only skill he can pass on now. Oh,
Like I know how to use a shovel for some reason.
I have this very strong urge to hit somebody with a shovel.
I know Shang Fu. He like,
Why do I suddenly want to talk about being named after a dragon?
dragon?
Why when I say something, I just facepalm my own comments?
Oh. Yes.
The ghost of Regia.
That probably would happen a lot, actually.
Goes to Reggio's roll for possession of him.
Oh,
So he never dies. God dang.
He can teleport anywhere. No one sees him. No one hears him. He's
You guys joke, but you wait. It might happen.
We're trying to end this thing.
All right. Sun creeps up over the horizon. Y'all start to wake up. What y'all doing?
Can I do a perception see if something happened during the night? Because somebody rummaged through my stuff.
Yeah, roll 12 side. See if you notice anything odd.
Of my surroundings. That is a 10.
You sit up, wipe the sleep from your eyes, look around. Everything seems to be in its place except you don't remember Seregios' body being in quite that spot or that orientation of the limbs when you left him.
I go, did I kick him? I mean, I know I'm a wild sleeper, but nah. And then I look around like, huh? And I look like glance at the hole just to make sure. I was like,
you're not sure where the hole is.
I was like, I go, huh? I lost the hole. Good. And I go, all right. Morning, guys and gals. Ronnie.
You look up and say that to Ronnie. You notice that she's holding that cloth that Sir Regios was carving into with the inscriptions and all that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just looking at it.
And I go, is that what I think it is?
You tell me.
And I reach out my hand and say, can I see it?
She hands it to you and goes, I want it back. You have a very, very hard time holding on to things that are important.
And I go, and I look at his body. I'm mad as what's the word I'm looking for? Foolish with documents. And I go, oh yeah, that's this. Huh.
And this would be...
This is what was in the cave, or whatever you want to call that place.
Hell House. Let's just call it a Hell House.
Hell House. Okay. Where my buddy wrote this down off a podium, you should say, like like little podiums, the statue on, but it was not the thing where that little dark void was sitting above.
Ronnie kind of looks at you. If I ask you a question, would you answer me honestly?
Yes, I will.
Good. I'll be sure to ask you that question in private later.
Oh, you dirty girl.
You notice her facial expression doesn't change.
Well, I know, and that's why I said it. And I read this over, and I was like, trying to remember.
The cloth is kind of tattered, and trying to carve those runes in didn't work out terribly well. Some of the runes you can kind of recognize, and some it just looks like wild cuts in the cloth. It's hard to tell.
Since I did touch that stone, if I touch it, does it like glow a little bit, or do I see something that they can't see?
If you were to touch the stone, maybe the stone's still in its jar in the ground.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. It will be hitting there probably forever. I'll come back for that later. Look, people, I ain't dumb. I ain't bringing that with me. And I roll it back up, and I say, look, just hold on to this. Hopefully this will be something. Maybe we can give it to them as a clue.
You'll want to give it to Tiamat.
whoever we got to give this to. I just know we need to get look, I'm about to say Ronnie Riku back. Whatever we need to do, whatever we need to do to get her back. God's willing that she is still alive.
Well, when we get
Gaddock
back to
glances over
Kish,
her shoulder as you're saying that and looks at the ratty cloth that you're holding and then looks back up at you, Stryker, with a kind of exasperated expression.
You do realize that Tiamat didn't want a scrap of cloth with some random runes cut into it, right? He's not going to give you your friend in exchange for that. He's a businessman. He only delivers if he gets his end of the deal. We'll be lucky if he doesn't kill all of us for wasting his time.
and hearing the "kill all of us" line, Ronnie stands up. Well, if he wants us dead, he'd better hope I don't claim his head first.
Gaddock rolls her eyes at that.
Okay, wait, am I still sleeping? Or
No,
or
you're up, man.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
was
if you
thinking-
want.
Oh no, I'm like, all right, Ronnie. I know we're from where you're from. Violence solves everything, but you know we have our
And
limits.
Ronnie stops in her tracks and turns around. No, where I'm from, honestly, we were quite peaceful, really. But at this point, this Tiamat fellow has pushed way too many of my buttons. And if he tries to kill us after all the shit we just went through, I don't mind taking his life.
I don't know if you ever know how cold-blooded businessmen work. They don't give a shit what your effort is. They give a shit what the results are.
Okay,
So
yeah,
so
that
then you're
nods.
saying you're okay with losing your life to this guy?
Yeah, like listen, to normal people with emotions and caring, that sounds nice, but to them it's like think of us as uh animals or
Mercenaries?
something. Yeah, something like that, but like a little more lesser than. I mean, like, yeah, you can go, I tried so hard, but to them they're like, did you get the stuff? I don't care about that. Oh, you hurt yourself? Yeah,
Assets is what he calls it.
uh-huh.
People are his assets.
Yeah. I try to be nice about it, but yeah, it's what she said.
I just go, I mean, we don't have to go back.
And she looks back at you, Stryker.
Really?
Hey, who's a good
What-
good artist? We can draw a fake map.
Tell me, what happened the last time you ran out on a job for Tiamat? How'd that go for you?
Technically, I was on the run and nobody could find me until, and I looked down at his body. I was like, till this one found me. And
You
yeah,
looking
we're here
forward
now.
to more of that, running for the rest of your life? I'm certainly not. I am going to go back. Because
why-
the worst he can do is kill me, and that might actually be preferable to some of the other options.
As she says that, I'll say, come here, come with me.
He eyes you for a moment and then stands up to saunter over to you.
And as soon as she gets close to me, I just give her a hug. And I say, I'm sorry.
This is not what I want right now.
She puts her hands on your hips and tries to push away from you.
And I was like,
Right?
no, this is what you need.
No, it's really not what I need right now. Let me go, guys. Little help.
And Ronnie just kind of crosses her arms and goes, it's all right to actually let it out, right?
Oh, you pretentious bitch! I didn't think you of all people would care.
She walks over. You know how much family I've watched die and have lost in multiple fights, battles, and other sorts of incidences?
Oh, such a peaceful place you come from. Yes.
It's a peaceful place, but we're not dumb. We know we need to protect ourselves and our kin.
Look, I don't want to talk about it to you or anyone else. All right?
I'm
All
not
that I
telling-
know is we're going to be in shit creek without a paddle if we don't bring something more substantial than...
She regards that scrap of cloth with great disgust. Than that.
And I go, I don't want you to talk about it. I just want you to know. I am sorry.
Fine. All right. Thank you. Now, will you let me go?
And I go, not yet.
Ah.
And I go, this is where also you know I care about you. And then I let it go.
She gives you a perplexed, frustrated stare for a moment, and then shakes her head and walks back over to her stuff to get ready to leave.
I go, Ronnie, I tried.
Nah, that's all anyone can do. Let her walk ahead of us. The three of us need to talk.
Cool with me.
You guys gonna finish packing up and break camp?
Yep. Get myself together, cover up the little spot, make it look like we not even been there before.
Alright. Noel, you
Mhm.
doing anything before you guys roll out? You just rolling out.
Just make sure I have all my stuff and head out.
Alright,
Yep.
alright. Gaddock's taking the lead, and the rest of you guys are sort of hanging back, talking amongst yourselves.
I look back one more time before we go. Said, all right, doesn't look like we've been here before. Cool. Yeah, let's go.
Sergios, any witty comments about being hefted up on Striker's shoulders?
You know, if I have to stay up here for another 3 more days, at some point, I could just become wings. Wouldn't you like to fly, Striker?
And just that.
And I'm saying, and I go, well, I'll just throw you in a ditch. You know what? keep going. I'm just gonna throw you in a ditch.
Does anybody hear any of this muttering?
Yeah, Nolan, Ronnie, roll 12 sides to see if you hear Striker talking to himself under his breath here.
Oh, there's another natty 12.
Oh no, I
God.
definitely hear him. I heard. I got a 2.
A 2.
I definitely didn't.
Noel's off in his own world as usual, and Ronnie, you did hear him muttering to himself again.
Ronnie just
Talking
kind
about
of
throwing Sergios' body in a ditch.
Ronnie becomes a bit more perplexed and just kind of walks over. Here, darling, why don't I carry him for you for a while? You
No.
still seem to be out of it.
No, it's okay. I got him.
No, it's fine. I
No,
insist.
it's fine. I got it.
And Ronnie looks at you. I insist.
I insist. I got him.
And Ronnie looks you over one more time. Are you sure you're feeling all right?
This is what he wanted. I got it. I'm fine. Still coming down, from the big rush.
Just promise me you won't go completely insane during this trip back.
Cannot promise anything.
Ronnie just kind of shakes her head, walks over, and then as she's walking up to Stryker, and she just kind of reaches at one of Sir Reggio's shoulders and pats it. Sorry about last night, buddy.
So, you guys are walking along. Oh. Stand by for attack.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, I think the little one is talking to him. So
So you guys are marching along, heading south, I assume, towards the village, back to Eisen.
that would be the only place we know where to go at this point.
Yeah,
So.
pretty much. Empty swamplands to the north.
As we are walking, Ronnie's going to bring up one of the many elephants in the room.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to get around this Tiamat fellow knowing we're back when the ride provided to us was his doing? Is there any other way for us to get out of this?
Yeah, probably not. As far as I know, I worked for him a couple times.
Ronnie takes a moment and thinks about it. You worked here before and got away. How'd you do it?
Just sure striker luck. I ran into a couple people. No, and kind of, let's say, stowed away a couple places, and it took a while. But I got far enough where he couldn't come get me. But I'm not really worried about that right now. First, we got to get out of here, and you already know what we got to pass on the way back. Say it with me now. Come on.
Nope.
You're not going to say it with me? No? No, you're going to say it with me?
Yeah, sure, I'll say it with you.
What are you,
And I
what
sit
are
there
y'all
looking
saying
at
it?
I'm sitting there looking at him like, so what are we saying, though? The shh.
I've never hated you more. Look,
We can have a little fun while we probably gonna have to dodge some crazy people at a big old church with what was on the front of it again? The serpent or a horse or a unicorn, a pony. Start naming off stuff.
I'm thinking, like, in retrospect, like, while we're traveling, I'm like, we should have just raided that place even more. I mean,
we should probably stop past that farm on the way back. Let the couple know we weren't able to find any sign of their boy. Ha! They forgot.
No, I remember that the farmers couple who said they lost their teenage son and he's been missing. Yeah, I remember that.
We gotta go tell him we didn't find Franz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's named after a surrender. Never mind. Too soon. Yeah.
You tell me. You're the one surrendering.
So all right, after that, then we got to figure out how we're gonna get past these guys. Like, we gotta see if there's a way around them. Like, I'm not trying to get stopped again and deal with them. Like, I'm too tired. I just want to get home. I want to do a proper burial. That's if we can make it home, but I just want to do a proper burial. So, yeah, agreement? Yes, no, maybe? Cool, let's go.
Yeah, I have no complaints here.
And we start walking, and we're walking, and we're walking.
Keep
and
walking.
How far ahead of us is Gaddock at this point?
A few yards. She's sufficiently out of earshot if you guys keep your voices low.
Okay.
But she's not going too far ahead.
All right, so this is going to be just walking. So then I go, you know what? I haven't, this might not work, but we could say, we can tell them where we found everything. And the reason why we don't have it is because if we would have took it, more monsters would have came out and we would have died. And we just show them the head. And it's like, this is what we fought. And as you can see, so if we go back with an army, not big enough, we should be able to get in there, get it, and get out. Minus me, because I'm going to take them back to, get buried. Cool. And we tell them there's gold in there, too.
There was gold, and we did leave a lot of it behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can always go back and get it.
Do we remember? And the crew knows the way back there, right?
I
Yeah,
guess
I
they
remember.
would. Good enough. Question. Speaking of Gaddock, you notice that Ronnie's tone, or at least the pitch of her voice, starts to lower. Me and Sir Regios had a talk a while back.
Oh, you're talking about not trusting her? Yeah.
Or Gaddock, for that matter.
Yeah.
His
He told me that.
specific words were, they'd probably get rid of us if we let them stay alive.
Right. He told me that when I first started working with him on the first mission. Hence why I left.
Well then, let me ask you a question. Keeping her alive, does that sound like something you think is the right thing to do?
Let's see. We either go back with her, 50-50 chance she turn on us, or she'll be on our side. Or we kill her now, we go back, 50-50 chance we just die because they ain't gonna believe nothing we say. Or they might. So either way, I feel like she might be a little bit more on our side more than just into her right now.
She seems content with death altogether, if you ask me.
Yeah, true. But I'd rather, I'm gonna put it, I'd rather trust her now than and have her with us than not have her at all. Our odds of living is probably a slight percentage more, maybe 60%.
Ronnie kind of ignores the rest of that statement after she heard you say that you'd much rather trust her in the here and now and let her live. You just happen to notice like a grin creep across Ronnie's face, almost as if that was the thing she needed to hear.
I'm like, what are you smiling for?
Oh, no reason.
Okay. No, what you think? You think we should keep her alive or dead?
I don't know. I don't alive. I don't think it's a right just to kill her. If you're that paranoid, just watch her.
Smart words, my man. All right. Let's keep an eye on her. If something don't seem right, I'll do it.
Good on you, lads.
I'll take her out.
Ronnie just kind of...
And I start saying stuff like, that sounds suspicious. When, what's her brother's name again? Forgot his brother's name.
Cat.
When Carrick was,
Carrot.
Carrick.
I'm just waiting for him to get to the point where he just calls them kibbles and bits now. At this point.
No. When last time I saw Carrick alive, Sir Regios was with him. He didn't really. He told me what happened, but I don't know. Something was off.
And I was like, a head for a head, I guess.
Yeah.
I just keep walking.
Yeah.
Karma's
look
a
at
bitch.
Ron. And I look at Ronnie. I was like, you already know. Then I just keep walking.
Ronnie kind of nods in acknowledgement, remembering her last private conversation with Sir Regios in the temple.
I said, and I look at her, I said, we could have let her die there. But she's alive. So let's just figure out this and just keep walking. Let's just go.
You know what? I used to think you were a complete piece of shit when I first met you.
You know what? I still am. And I keep walking. But I'm a piece of shit with a heart. Hit you right in the soul right there, though. Just keep walking.
You know what? For once, I agree.
Thank you. Wait, what? No, you're supposed to say you're not a piece of shit anymore, but you.
And Ronnie just smiles.
All y'all's roll 100 sides.
All right.
Trek southward.
Ooh, 21.
I got a 37.
Oh, I'm the one who's bottlenecking us, guys. 51.
Man, and Gaddock got a 5. He had to go and roll a 51.
Jeez, Gaddock is
Yeah,
rolling.
it's because I started talking about Sir Regios doing bad things and talking badly about said bad things.
Mm-hmm. It takes you guys half the day to leave the swamp and get back down into the sort of rolling hilly field area where you saw the farmhouse. Takes you a little while to locate the farmhouse. You didn't follow exactly the same path that you took going northward, but eventually you do see some ramshackle buildings and a thin wisp of smoke curling from a chimney, and make your way down there.
I said, hey guys, I think that's the house right there.
Oh, beautiful.
Let's go stop and talk to him.
Ronnie takes a minute, thinks about it. You know, only one of us has to do this part. You guys can keep moving. I'll catch up.
I'd rather all of us stay together. So we'll just wait a little bit further ahead. Just that way we wait for you until you catch up with us.
Agreed.
No, do you want to go with her? You know, just in case.
Earth
No.
to know.
No, I don't.
He's like, I'm not good at delivering bad news. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not.
All right. You guys approach the farmhouse steadily. You can see that the man, Hans, is out in front, apparently kneeling over his plow, doing something with the blades, tinkering with it. But as he hears your footsteps, he turns around, looks up at you, and you see a hopeful smile appear on his face, and he rises to come out and meet you guys. The grin fades pretty quickly when he sees the body hoisted across your shoulders, Striker. I take it that your adventure was not good.
No, it was not, unfortunately. So, good news, bad news is that we didn't find any signs of your boy.
Oh, I see.
The bad news being is that we didn't find him, but the good news being is that we didn't find any signs of death either. So there's always still a chance.
Yes, I suppose there is. I thank you for your trouble trying to find him, and I am very sorry for your loss of your friends. I hope that was not in any way our fault for asking you to look for our boy.
No, not at all. There were just some things that we were highly unprepared for.
Oh, well, I promised you a hot meal for looking for our son. Please come in, sit by our fire. We'll have a meal prepared for you.
And I look over my shoulder at everybody, see if, and kind of wave them back. Do you believe we have enough time for a meal, or do we need to get moving sooner rather than later?
I think we have time for a meal.
What time is it right now?
It's about midday.
Midday. Last time we came here was about midday, so that means everybody was going inside that little church thing. So I put, let's just take a break. Give it some time, everything to calm down. Because we're gonna sneak past this place. I'm not dealing with him. Not dealing with him.
Hans turns to you, Striker, and gestures to the corpse on your back. Would you like me to help you bury him?
No. We're gonna try to take him home.
Where is home?
Not here.
Oh, long way then. All
Yes.
right. Well, I would ask that you leave him outside while we eat. The flies, you understand. And
Oh, that's
he
fine.
gestures to a rocking chair on the porch. He can sit there comfortably while we dine.
No, no.
I didn't say anything.
I thought about it in my
Me
head.
neither.
I was like, "Do you have a pumpkin?" You
I
have the
still say
scarecrow's
Ghost
head.
of Regios will make the story much more.
The headless Regios needs a head.
So I go and I take them and I put them in the rocking chair and I look around and say, "Huh? Do they got a scarecrow head in here anyway?" I was looking for something round just to put on top of his head. Just 'cause. So Reggie, else, do you have anything to say?
No, I actually like this idea. Who we spooking?
I go, "Yo, I like you, my man. Hey, yeah, like something round,
What do you mean?
like
Phantom of Regios.
like stone, pumpkin, watermelon,
Well,
scarecrow head.
it's not in season for pumpkins or melons yet. We do have a scarecrow in the back. Why do you want it? And then his eyes shift to the corpse, and then back to you, and back to the corpse. No, we do not have anything like that.
I'll be back. I'm going to run in the back.
Please don't. I really would prefer you don't.
Fine.
And for some reason, in the back of your head, you could have swore you heard Sir Reginald go, "Aw."
I know, man. Dang.
He gives you something that definitely would qualify as a reproachful look before ushering you guys into the house for your meal.
And I go, look, we've been through a lot. I gotta have something to make me laugh. I lost my best friend, and he would want this.
If you say so. I would still prefer you don't do it with anything from my farm.
Okay. Yeah, I just casually walk inside. But I'm staying alert as I walk in.
Yeah.
Cause I know this place. Yeah, there's a couple little shifty people around here.
Well, you guys go inside, and the good wife is busy bustling in the kitchen. You can hear the thumps and scrapes of dough being kneaded on a countertop, and good smelling aromas wafting into the dining hall that he brings you into. Well, I say dining hall. It's a very small room. The house itself is probably no more than 4 rooms, and
Oh, that's a nice house.
Hans brings you in and invites you to sit down. There aren't enough chairs for everybody, so he has to hustle into adjacent rooms and pull chairs from other rooms to make enough room.
Ronnie immediately just kind of gets him to rest, and she takes care of the rest of the chairs and everything. Hospitality is more than enough.
It's like, wow, is that? Oh, wow, that stone chimney is really nice.
Thank
That
you.
must be great for cooking.
This house has been in my family for 6 generations.
Wow.
We've always been very proud of it. Although now our boy is. He kind of trails off and looks down at the table.
Ronnie gently places her hand on his shoulder. Like I said, there's no proof of death yet, so there's still always a chance.
Clenches his fists a little bit, but nods slowly, clinging to that faint hope. After a moment, he rises and goes into the kitchen to let his wife know that, they have guests. Prepare some food.
And I go, can I do a perception check of the area that we're in?
Okay.
Just want to see if anything seems out of place. Looks a little weird.
Alright, give us a 12.
Oh, that's a 4, and that means I see nothing.
You look around the small room. The dining room is separated from the main living space by a narrow or a thin wall that doesn't go all the way up to the ceiling. It's like a half wall, so you can see clearly into the adjacent room.
So it's more of a partition.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The dining room that you're in looks like it was intended to seat 5, and not really any more than that, so it's a little bit crowded right now. The table's a bit small for you. But the table seems old and built of sturdy oak or some similar heavy, well-wearing wood. All the chairs seem to be very simple make, but in good shape, good condition. The house itself has a feel of age to it. There's that very fine stone fireplace you noted in the living space across the partition. On the mantle, there are a couple of small carved wooden figurines, things that children might make and that the parents would place up there to display proudly.
I'm gonna walk over to them, just start looking at them. Not touch them, just look at them.
They seem to be of, middling craftsmanship, probably made by child's hands. A couple of farm animals, a few human figurines, or things that looked like they were supposed to be human figurines, but didn't quite get the shape right. There's a spinning wheel in the corner, and a couple small tables as well. All the chairs, of course, had been removed to stuff them in the dining room. A moment later, the good wife, Brunhild, pokes her head out of the kitchen and offers you a weak smile.
Lunch will be ready in just a few moments. I hope that you like fresh-baked bread and stone soup.
That's perfect.
Y'all need any help?
Oh no, darling, I'm quite all right.
You sure? I mean, I can help. I can help with the food.
Yeah, Noel's a really good cook. I'll just say. And I look at Ronnie. I say, "Hey, don't we got a little bit of the meat left?"
Ronnie smiles. Oh, we've got plenty.
She pauses for a moment. What are you saying?
And she reaches in and she pulls out a small portion of the wog meat, and she hands it over to Brumhild and says, "Give that a taste."
What is this?
Believe it or not, wog meat.
Takes a small nibble. That is not as bad as I expected. Warg is usually so earthy.
He did that.
Did he now? She looks up at you, Noel, and there's a weighing look in her gaze. And she's like, perhaps I could make some use of you. Come, yes, come.
I knew you'll see reason.
He says that, and immediately Ronnie rolls her eyes.
And I go, "Good. Now you can keep an eye."
Brunhild gives you a slightly amused glance, Noel, and then disappears back into the kitchen, obviously expecting you to follow.
And I do.
All right.
I look at Ronnie. I said, "I look at us going."
And Ronnie, for some reason, she looks up, she shakes her head, and for some immediate reason, just decides to facepalm. And then realizes what she's doing and stops and goes, "Where'd that come from?"
And I look at it, I go, he's rubbing off already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God,
The
he's
ghost.
not even here anymore.
Noel, Brunhild sets you in front of a countertop where there's a large mound of heavy dough, and she says, "See what you can do with that." And she turns to manage a large kettle with a very delicious-smelling brew bubbling in it in the hearth.
I said, what do you put in the dough?
Well, nothing very fancy. It's corn maize dough, so it's a bit crumbly. I put a few things in there to firm it up, some house leek root and some thimble grass for some light flavor.
Do you have eggs?
Oh, well, we did, but unfortunately they were taken by the Devourer a week last. We've
Oh.
not been able to afford new chickens.
Oh well, I can make it work. I continue kneading it, a little bit.
Hans very wisely leaves the kitchen and goes to sit in the dining table. Noel, roll a 100 side
Uh-oh.
for your food preparation
Oh
skills.
no!
You got this, bro. You got this.
Oh Lord! Oh come on, you messed me up, man! Come on! Oh Lordy! Oh, 32. It wasn't.
All right, that wasn't that bad. You start to go to work on the dough, and Brunhild periodically stops by and looks over your shoulder to see how you're getting on, and nods approvingly, and goes back to her work on the stew, which you have to admit smells distractingly good. After a little while, she has you partition the dough out into loaves, and she places them in her little stone oven right above the stew, and hustles you back out of the kitchen into the dining room. That's quite enough. You've done quite well. Thank you for
You
that.
sure? I don't mind.
No, it's okay. You are guests. You are guests.
Oh, okay. All right. If you need anything, you know where to find me.
It's almost done. Just a few minutes more. Guys, wait out your few minutes, and then eventually Brunhild returns to the dining area with a large stone platter with 2 huge loaves of delicious-smelling bread and a pitcher of the soup, and she shuffles it back and forth a couple of times to bring out enough loaves of bread for everybody, and puts the pitcher of soup in the middle of the table, and sits next to her husband, and they clasp hands. They offer hands to you to clasp around as well in a circle, if you choose to do so.
Yeah.
Ronnie is not going to be rude. This is usually not her custom. When they say grace, they don't clasp hands. They all usually put their hands together and bow their heads. So, but she's very respectful of other people's cultures. So,
All right. Noel, you gonna join the circle of love?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. They take
I
your
tell them how
hands.
much I miss my wife. I'm like, I hope my wife's okay.
Brunhild nods sympathetically. You have been long away from home, I take it?
Yes. Yes.
That is very sad. I hope you can return to her soon.
Yeah.
As we hope
I
our
think
boy will return to us soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm thinking about having some children soon.
They are a blessing. You should seriously consider it, all of you. And with that, Hans bows his head, and we give thanks to the great creator Xerxes for the bountiful harvest that he brings us, and friendly strangers who help us search for our missing child, and we ask that he return France to us safely. And they break the circle and then touch their chests and their heads, and then spread their hands. Please, eat.
Yes.
Okay.
Ronnie kind of leans back in her chair a little bit and goes, "You pray to Xerxes, much like that church here, right?"
Oh, yes. Well, nearly everyone in the village worships the great Xerxes. He has been kind to our village. Stern, but he brings good harvests and protection from outsiders who would do us harm.
Ronnie takes a moment, thinks about this, and mulls it over. What exactly is Xerxes?
Hans pauses for a moment and leans back, strokes his short stubble.
I'm not sure how to explain it to outsiders. There are some who believe he was a dragon, but our priests say that he was much more. That he was the creator of the world and the benefactor of humankind before so many of us turned away from him and spurned his gifts.
Striker, this should be sounding familiar to you from the story that Oracle told you on Sir Regios.
Mm-hmm. I'm just sitting there and just hearing this. I'm like, no.
Ronnie kind of sits up a little bit. She's kind of interested now. She's like, really? Where I come from, there are more of goddess spirits that we're taught about. I've never really heard of a dragon being an overseer of people. That's the first I've ever heard of that.
Most other people do not worship him now. I do not know why. The priest in town, Lothar, he could tell you more if you're interested. But we keep to the old ways here and give him his due. Lothar says that he brings swift retribution on those who do not grant him the respect that he deserves. The Devourer is one of his servants, and to hunt the wastes for non-believers. We do not know why the Devourer troubled our farm so many times so recently. We have always been devout followers, but surely we must have done something to displease the Great Lord, and so we work hard to try to win back his approval. He is stern with his punishments, but generous when he is pleased.
Maybe the Devourer isn't one of his servants.
That is blasphemy. You cannot say these things, my friends, please.
Well, hear me out. Where I come from, there's, as I told you, we're told of the 4 goddesses. There used to be more, but there was a huge war waged between the goddesses. Some of the fallen goddesses would help create the world. This is what the stories that were passed to me as a babe were. In one of those battles, there was a servant, one lone servant, who fought countless battles under its goddess name. However, that servant was not truly a servant of the goddess, but rather a servant of self-gratification. It used the goddess' name in all of its acts and war-torn treachery, saying that people had not paid proper tribute to the goddess, when in reality, they were scheming and stealing from under the goddess's nose, creating discord within her lands. What if this is that sort of scenario? Your mic went going.
I am not a man to speak to such things. I respect that your beliefs differ from ours, but you must understand we are devout followers of Great Lord Xerxes, and if Lothar says that the Devourer is one of Xerxes' servants, then we must believe him. He has never led us astray before.
Then I won't speak of the matter further.
I thank you for respecting our customs, but please let us finish this delicious meal. I'm sorry, I have forgotten, and he's looking at you, Noel. What was your name again, young man?
Noel Witherspoon. You just call me Noel, though.
Noel. You helped my wife with this bread, yes?
Oh, yes.
Very good indeed. Schöner good.
It could have been better if we had some eggs, but I mean, we did what we could.
Yes, the loss of the chickens was a particularly difficult blow. We have lost almost all of our animals to the Devourer of late, but I am hopeful that the next year Lord Xerxes will shine upon us again. So the rest of the time, you guys sort of eat your meal in silence. It is quite good. The soup, what she called stone soup, was a mixture of a variety of different vegetables and seasonings, and it has a tiny little bit of bite to it, but all of the individual flavors come out quite delightfully. No meat, though, because, of course, they've lost all of their livestock. Still, it's a very nourishing meal. It takes you only about half an hour or so to consume. And then, with smiles and bows and repeated thanks for your efforts trying to find their son, they escort you out, and Hans extends a hand, shakes each one of your hands. Thank you again for trying to find our son. I do really appreciate it. Xerxes willing, he will return to us yet.
Hopefully, you will see him soon.
Yes. I walk over to the rocking chair. I go, let's go, buddy.
Zeregios, do you have any comments on that?
Oof, could you not pick me up like I'm some sort of plaything?
This time I don't say anything, and I just like that.
Ah! Can you not do that?
You just see a smirk on my face, like, and I keep walking.
Probably worth noting at this point that like rigor mortis has set in, and so like he's really stiff, and so yeah, doing that you can hear like the bones creaking and crunching a little bit as you're doing that.
Oh, good. I smile even harder.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
Ronnie sees him walk past with this goofy smile. She just, oh God. What? And then she catches herself again. She's like, that's twice now. That's twice.
And I tell look at it, it's like, time to settle in.
She's like, oh God, it's only been a day.
Hans sees you off as far as the edge of his little front lawn.
Before we go, I go, do you have a large sack?
Large sack?
And I look at Gadog with the thing in her hands carrying. I'm like, yeah, something that can hold that.
And he hadn't noticed that before because she had it wrapped up in her cloak, but now that it's visible, he tries very hard not to vomit up the delicious lunch that he just ate. Oh. And he like turns away and rushes across the yard into the low shed that he calls a barn. And
Ronnie's just gonna follow him so he doesn't have to look at that again.
Rummages around quickly and holds up a sack. Here, I don't want to know anything, please.
I do apologize for you having to see that thing. Trust me, if we could get rid of it, I would have a long time ago.
Why? No, I don't want to know. Please, just take the sack and go. And Xerxes, peace be with you.
And she places a firm but gentle hand on his shoulder. I hope all is well with your boy.
As do we. Thank you again. Safe journeys to you.
You be safe as well. And with that, Ronnie will leave, and she will storm stomp all the way back to them. And she's going to literally snatch the head out of Gadok's hand and shove it in the sack and tie it up as quick as possible. And look at her and go, why would you just have that exposed in the open like that?
I'm sorry, I was trying to rearrange the... never mind.
And she just takes the sack from you.
Just trying to rearrange the cloak. It's got blood all over my cloak.
That's why I asked for a sack.
Yeah, that's weird.
She looks at her cloak and then looks at Sir Regios's cloak. She thinks about it for a minute and she goes, "Nah, he needs to be buried with his stuff."
What were you gonna say?
Oh, no, I'm actually surprised we didn't just like bury him near what happened. Like I'm surprised we're carrying the body back.
Like Striker said, there's no way in hell he wants to bury him in that hellhole. And I don't blame him.
I'm pretty sure they're far away enough, though. I mean,
No, we're still in this. We're still on this wherever the hell we're at. He will probably haunt us forever if we bury him here.
He's like, "Nah, I want to make sure we at least get him to cash."
At least somewhere that's not here.
It's like, whoa, Scrubs, it's not my fault you die here.
You guys continuing on your way? You going straight to the village? What you doing?
On the way up, was there another path to bypass the village, or did we have to come straight through the village?
It was just the village.
Straight on through.
All right. Well, and I'll start. Well, Gadak, go ahead. You can start walking. We're right behind you.
I am high in front. I feel like this is a setup. I'm gonna be the first one to walk into those crazy people, aren't I?
And Ronnie walks up beside her. Well, by your size and stature and the fact that you're better dressed for the occasion than me, you should actually be able to slip by them unnoticed. It's us they're going to probably end up talking to. This will at least give you a chance to get back to Doc's first.
And she gives you a flat stare and then gestures to the blood-soaked cloak that she's been wearing.
And then she gestures to the dead body that's been draped over the other guy's shoulders.
My point is, none of us are going to pass for inconspicuous. Except maybe for Noel.
Except it's Noel. Have you met him?
All right, fair enough.
Hey, you guys don't have faith in me. What's going on?
We all just look back at him like, yeah. So how are we gonna get past this guy?
No, I'll do it. Don't worry, guys. I got this under control.
Are you gonna go distract him? Gotcha.
She looks over Gadok's robes for a moment. Do you have anything in your robes that's important for you to hold on to?
Yes. For starters, they conceal all of my weapons, which would draw at least as much attention as a blood-soaked robe. And they have pockets. I like pockets.
I like pockets too. Very convenient.
You can always get a new robe, right?
But I like this one. Well, I did like this one before it was covered in disgusting blood.
Excuse me.
Fine,
Ronnie.
fine.
And she pulls the thing off and flings the thing at you, Ronnie.
And Ronnie takes it and she kind of folds it up and puts it in Sir Regios's pouch and just looks at her and goes, "Remind me of this when we get on the ship."
Fine.
And now she's, bare arms up to the shoulder with a light vest. You can see the armor now clearly that was concealed under her cloak, and a half dozen knives scattered around her bodice, as well as the whip at her hip.
I think this is going to draw far more attention, but fine. If this is how you want to do it, we'll do it this way.
And then Ronnie looks at Stryker.
Go ahead. Before you even say anything, go ahead.
She pulls the cloak off of Sir Regios and puts it around her.
It, goes all the way down to the ground because she's quite a bit shorter than Sir Regios was.
That works.
The sleeves hang past her arms.
It's like, I can't fight in this.
It's not for fighting. You want it to be less inconspicuous, yeah?
I look like a beggar off the street. Oh, fine. Let's just go.
After you.
I'll give you a good time for a few coppers.
She looks at you, Noel, with just daggers in her eyes.
And for some reason, Ronnie follows up with the same.
Adjusts Sergios's cloak and stomps forward, nose in the air.
And As Gaddock is walking off, Ronnie looks at Noel and just goes, "So is that why your wife is sitting at the brothel right now with 15 guys?" And then walks off.
He's like, I don't know what she's talking about.
You
I was
guys,
just like, you know what? We'll figure out this when we get there. Da-da-da-da-da.
guys head to the south, walking for another several hours before multiple smoke plumes trailing from many chimneys comes into view, and another hour or so, and the town proper comes into view as you crest a small hill, and you can see there's the church, there's the sprawling town and the foliage. What? You had an apostrophe?
Hmm.
No?
I'm just not ready for this.
Alright.
Say, all right, guys, we gotta slowly but quickly not be noticed. So, and I look at Ron and say, "No more taking out your axe."
She looks at you and just gives you a grin.
Oh, shit.
She doesn't even say anything. She just gives you a grin.
And we just sit back for a second and watch Get walk past, see if anybody say anything.
She walks down the gentle rise towards the village, periodically glancing over her shoulder, and although as she gets further away you can't really see her face, you can feel her eyes like boring daggers into you
We're
every
walking.
time she looks back. You're
We're
walking with her, huh? All right,
No,
all
we're
right.
walking. We're not walking close to her.
Okay.
Mhm.
You guys walk. How far away are you walking from her?
Probably keeping about the same pace that we've had this entire time.
So just a few yards then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, she just looks back at you, and you can clearly see that she's looking daggers at the lot of you, having her in front like that as y'all walk down towards the village.
Said, at least you'll make it if we don't.
As you guys approach the village, the thin, reedy trail that you've been following that goes up into the hills turns into something more resembling a road, although it is, a dirt road, certainly no paving. And you guys slowly approach the building that you remember as the church that you passed on your way out of the village. And you can see 4 figures standing in the courtyard of this church, sort of leaning on the fence.
Just like last time.
And as you approach, they all stiffen and look at you, and one of them rushes into the building, disappears.
Just
Quickly.
Like last time.
Quickly.
Mm.
Pick up pace.
You guys start to pick up the pace. The 3 remaining men leave the courtyard and stand across your path on the street, blocking your way.
I look at him like, all right, fellas, we don't have time for this.
And the fellas are all 3 of them big, kind of brawny men. They each have a quarterstaff in hand, which is just sort of, they're casually leaning on, but it looks like they know how to use them and aren't particularly afraid of using them.
And Ronnie just steps out front. Can we help you, gentlemen?
Yes, Fräulein. I think we could help you, and you could help us.
Look, it's been a very long couple days. We've lost 2 of our friends, and we're at least trying to get the one body that we were able to recover back home for burial. So if there's nothing important, then please let us pass.
Oh, on the contrary. And you hear this voice coming from the direction of the church, and the 4th man emerges from the building, accompanied by a 5th, who is wearing those long flowing robes you vaguely recognize from the little party that you met in the swamp.
Immediately in the back of her mind, Ronnie just goes, "Not this Joker again."
I warned you that you would not
be welcome in the village after setting foot in our hallowed ground, and I warned you that the swamp was dangerous, and here you return to us, missing 2 of your companions, and thinking that we would allow you to
Not
pass through the village
missing.
again.
Not missing, dead. And then she points to Sir Regios's corpse on Stryker's shoulder.
And Lothar Brocht spreads his hands sort of in a oh well kind of gesture.
And we're not here to stay at your village. We are getting on our boat, and we are leaving. If you have an issue with that.
And I go, unless you got another path, can y'all please move aside? And I say it nicely in a I'm not in the mood type of way.
It is against our laws for anyone to set foot in Das Moors. You violated that law. If you do not wish to be subject to the punishment of our law, you may not set foot in our village, even for a moment. If you are willing to accept the punishment, well, then, of course, we will let you go on your way after.
Yeah, I ain't got time for no punishment.
And Ronnie puts her hand up. What's this punishment?
Yeah, I'm curious.
You will be strapped publicly in the square, 30 lashes apiece.
And Ronnie looks around. Fine, I'll do it.
You can see the self-satisfied smirk waver a little bit as if he wasn't expecting that answer.
Ooh,
Oh.
Signamore style.
Oh, no, you don't understand. I'm taking 90.
90. You would take all of them.
Is that a problem, or are your girly arms too weak to hit?
And he grins a little bit. That is very generous of you, but as I recall, there were 6 of you who went into Das Moors, so the charge would be 180 if you would take all of them.
And Ronnie just smiles. Sounds like a fun date.
All right.
I'm like, damn, Ron, you a freak. And that's it.
And I go, Ronnie, you don't have to do this. No, we'll take half of them for you.
Whoa, I didn't volunteer. I would have went around.
No, I'll take them for you.
No, you speak for yourself. Strike and take them.
Get to the boat. I'll see you boys there.
Oh no, they will not go to any boats until after the punishment.
Oh, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't even
You
move.
don't get to get off that easy. Come on.
And I,
now.
Fine then.
and I look at him, I said,
Oh, and by the way,
you just
we
cut
weren't able to find the boy, unfortunately. But we also didn't find any evidence of his death. Would you do that family a solid favor and at the very least try to send someone looking for him one more time?
It is the will of Xerxes, whether he lives or dies. We have no say in that.
And as he says that, I go, so let me ask you a question about Xerxes.
Yes, my son?
In my travels, I learned about many gods, goddesses, stuff, and rarely I heard about Xerxes. Can you tell me more about it?
I can. After the flogging.
Oh, hold on. Just give me one little tidbit, something that, to make me want to, something to wet my whistle before you go start whooping on my friend here.
What would you know?
So, how long ago? And you don't have to have the exact, number that, let's say, you found out about Xerxes, that, you started worshiping the church as a fact, started worshiping Xerxes. Was it before you? Was it after you? I mean, not after you, but you know what I mean.
I do not follow.
Think the question.
Don't say nothing.
And Ronnie looks at you when you do that. But your question is terribly worded.
And I look at him like, duh.
At this point, I feel like he's just. It's only been a day, and yet you've got me face palming. You've got him doing weird stuff. Damn it!
He looks between the lot of you, very perplexed. The church is as old as the village, some 250 years.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to know. How old is the church? Okay.
You are strange outsiders.
What you saying
Your friend
is,
has agreed to be flogged to death, and you are asking about how old the village is.
Oh,
Yes.
That's quite hilarious. You think you're gonna kill me?
I said, you can do it, Ronnie. You can do it.
I just wanted to know because, the nice couple was telling us a little bit. And since you're the expert, of Xerxes, I just want to know.
He eyes you as if he's trying to decide whether you're mocking him or not, but after a moment he turns to his 4 compatriots and gestures. 2 of the big boys with staves come up alongside you, Ronnie.
And before they even touch me,
They're
I
not
look at
moving
them.
to touch you. They're just taken up beside you, and they kind of look down on you. They're quite a bit taller than you are, and they've got that smug grin written across their faces.
And Ronnie looks back up at them. I've taken down at least 3 people way bigger than all of you combined. I don't really care. You lay a hand on me before I get tied up onto this thing, I'm breaking your kneecaps one at a time, very slowly, very methodically. And I'm going to make sure that you can hear every satisfying crunch. Is that understood, boys?
Their smug expressions don't seem to change very much with that tongue lashing. And Lothar gestures down the boulevard. Shall we?
Let's shall.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end for the evening.
Oh no!
No flogging tonight.
Not tonight.
Oh,
no floggings
no
tonight.
ass whooping tonight. Oh man!
But flogging! You promised flogging!
I did, and then I savagely took the flogging away. No flogging for you. That's right. That's right. Weep.
I'm over it.
You sadist.
What about it?
Man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another exciting episode of
Fail PG. Wait, you were supposed to say it with me. Come on.
He did it better than me.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
So
he did.
as soon as I heard it, I was like, nope, shut up. Just let him do it. Let him do it.
On the next Fail
Well,
PG.
Like always, if you like what you see and you love the stupidness of me and the craziness of these other 3 fine young gentlemen.
No way.
What? Please
I
subscribe.
don't
the
know what
like
this
button.
fine young gentleman thing came from. Who's he talking about exactly?
Maybe Noel and his fine cooking. I
Hell
don't
no.
Oh, yeah.
know.
I'm established.
Wait a minute.
Just like
I suddenly had
I'm
an
in the inner
apostrophe.
circle.
I know why Noel can cook so well.
Why is
Because
that?
Goat has been speaking surrender all this episode.
It makes sense now. He surrenders, so for there, he has to be able to do something when he surrenders. He cooks. It makes sense now.
That's
know
why
what?
I consider French food
That's all
really
right.
good.
That's
you
all
gotta
right.
think,
That's
he made
okay.
bread.
If the French can do anything well, it's food.
They had to give Germany food so they won't kill them.
He made gluten stuff, man. He made bread.
He made bread. Gluten-filled
Made
bread.
Yeah,
Gluten-filled
and
bread.
it's delicious. Mhm.
Actually, that makes me wonder if corn contains gluten. I don't know.
Oh crap! But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, share, all the good things. Leave a comment down below if you want us to, keep going or just end this thing and just kill everybody. Just put that down below. We'll find out what happens on the next episode.
A meteor strikes.
Pretty much, if you want anime rules, please put it down in the comments.
But then how am I supposed to isekai you if we kill everybody at once?
Sucks to
That's
be
not
you.
how isekai works.
No.
I mean,
Sucks to be you then. I kill.
I'll probably survive because somehow I survive everything in this whole game. So far, I survive everything in this game.
I really thought you was gonna get eaten by that warg when you missed that punch. The stuffing the warg in a hole was definitely clever, but your luck won't hold forever.
It won't. In hell, for how many episodes we done so far?
We are
36.
40? Yeah,
At least my list is 36.
I'll tell you in a second. I have a more updated one. So if we're counting, give me 1 second here. Let me get inside of my my files here. Just so you know, I did start taking my time when you did that. So 37 if you count this one.
37.
So for 37 episodes.
Wow.
I think. Well, does that include Ground Zero?
38 then.
So 38 episodes. My luck has been going and going and going. I'm pretty sure if we make it to 40, it's done. It's over. We're done.
Well, we'll see what happens after Ronnie takes her flogging.
Yes. And because we keep making so many mentions to episode 0, I will do this. If enough people in the next couple episodes when they go up, if enough people say episode 0, please, I will post the entirety of that recording session that we had, which was about, I think, 5 hours.
What you're saying is,
Assuming that I still have the file.
That was
this
only
one
the
goes
second
up.
half. Because we didn't record the first half.
Yeah, that was only the, yeah.
so when this one goes up, and then a couple episodes after that, then we'll post it.
Mm-hmm,
Yep. So by 40, all right. See, like I said, by
Yeah,
40.
exactly. All right. Good night, everybody. Hasta la
Very
muera.
nice. That was fun.
Astrobiana.
Bye bye, deuces. All right, good. They're gone. Golly.
Oh, man.
I never hit the button. They're still here.
Oh, what? What?
Now you've been caught with your pants down. Quick, do something.